light, so cold, sleep is nice. So tired, my eyes fight, they just wanna close back up tight. Get up, hoodie on, hard work at the crack of dawn. This life ain't for the weak ones, no, this life pure only for the strong. Feeling slow, shake it off, don't got time for negative thoughts. Red sight, got the dot, shoot my shot, I want the top. Never lost, got my block, know my story, I know my boss. I will fight against the clock, time's a limited gift from God. One day I will have my victory, crush all my enemies so viciously. Work so hard my hands are blistering, and they will carve my name in history.
What is up, everybody? This is Nick Fiore of Fiore's Nation here on YouTube. This is Forbidden Podcast, episode 32. Nick Fiore in the house, Fiore's Nation. Adam Carl in the house as well. Forbidden Podcast, episode 32. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Friday, July the 10th of 2026. It is the first SmackDown live later tonight, by the way. Live at 2 hours. Yes, not taped. And tonight, the first SmackDown of the CM Punk era. And as you see in the title, and as you see in the thumbnail, yes, you heard that correctly. And if you see the thumbnail with CM Punk on the WWE Championship, that is not a coincidence, and it's done by design. Because, ladies and gentlemen, CM Punk is your new WWE Champion as he returned to WWE this past Monday night on Raw on July 6th in Chicago and defeated Sami Zayn for the WWE Championship after holding it for 9 days. But Punk is the new champion now. He's on SmackDown. He starts the SmackDown Punk era tonight. Punk's no longer on Raw. He's now on SmackDown as we start on the official road to the biggest party of the summer, SummerSlam. Oh, and we got a comment in the chat already. And Xavier, what's up, Xavier? Sammy hate watch everyone. Yeah, those who think, oh, Sami Zayn is too small, he's a vanilla midget, he looks like a guy who should be bagging the groceries or be working at McDonald's or being a guy on Grubhub or DoorDash, or he's the guy that should be mopping the floor and Price Chopper when there's a spill in aisle 8. Like, you name me the excuse. Oh, Sami Zayn doesn't look like a world champion, he's too small. You name it. And like Vince Russo apparently bashing it. And then now it's like, I bet she's happy with Sami losing the title now. But we're going to get into that in a little bit. But yes, CM Punk is your new WWE champion. He's now on SmackDown. But before we get into things, Adam Carl, I got one thing to ask you, bro. What is up, dude?
Well, I was just watching a recent World Cup game.
Yes, you're
France
correct.
and Morocco, and France is incredible. They've been incredible this entire tournament. I'm actually predicting them to win the whole tournament.
It's a bold prediction there. You know what I'm though upset about? The U.S. losing in the World Cup to Belgium. They lost bad. I mean, if they're going to lose okay, good. But they lost 4-1. I was very disappointed. When it came to 70 minutes,
they were destroyed.
Yeah. I think it's like usually a soccer game goes like 90 minutes. When I get to the 70-minute mark, I'm like, and U.S. is losing bad. I pretty much gave up at that point. I just tuned out. I was like, what's going on? You're like, what are we doing? So, and I'm like, the U.S.
They were done.
It's like they didn't even show up. They didn't even want to be there. They pretty much gave up. I was like, I'm done. So they're out of the World Cup. So. We got Xavier also in the chat. Only reason I didn't want Sami as champ was because bro just complained all the time. Got a title front shot from him. Though I will say he made the Cody and Rhodes and Gunther story going into Night Champions that much better when it left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth from that terrible finish at Clash in Italy. So that is what I will say on that. And then Xavier says, I knew the United States weren't going to win was because we can never beat Belgium. Last time we did was 1933. It's almost 100 years later. Crazy, but it's like 93 years later. But anyways, we got some good stuff to talk about. CM Punk, new WWE champion, what this means for the title, for SmackDown, and what this means for the road to SummerSlam. We're going to go over what we think could happen. Was CM Punk winning the title the right move? Should Sami Zayn have kept the championship? etc. Who could go heel? Could Sami Zayn be involved in the WWE title picture at SummerSlam in any which way? We're going to go over that. We're going to go over Sheamus. Apparently, he's no longer with WWE. He's not a free agent. He's still at the company, but he's moved to the alumni section and is like pretty much like his contract, like not expired yet, but set to be free agent, I think, in the coming weeks or months. But we're going to touch base on that and so much more here on Furious Nation on Forbidden Podcast for episode 32. But before we start, I want you to like on the video. Be greatly appreciated. It helps in the YouTube algorithm and helps the channel, so make sure you go do that. Well, subscribe to Furious Nation as well when you're at it. It also helps in the YouTube algorithm. Hit the bell for all notifications as well. Go follow me on X at FioreNick579. It's not at FioreNick579, as you see on the bottom left-hand screen. As you watch this video, as you can see, at Adam Carl 2005 to follow Adam Carl on X as well. On the bottom right of the screen, TikTok Furious Nation, Instagram at Nicholas Fury 2014, and Facebook Nicholas Fury 31 over on Facebook. So, first things first, to start this episode, we might as well talk about what a lot of people have been talking about since Monday night, since this man came back in his hometown in Chicago, CM Punk. Might I say he looks in the best shape of his life. And those who thought, oh, he's frustrated with creative, they asked him to take a pay cut, oh, he's leaving the WWE, he's going back to AEW. Yeah, where are those people now? May I ask?
They are hiding in their caves.
As usual. And now and I bet some complaining, oh, CM Punk, he's a cancer. He's all about himself. He buried Sami Zayn. He's like The Rock and Hulk Hogan, where he's against the part-timers taking spotlight away from the full-time guys. And he went against all that, and CM Punk's a hypocrite.
The same CM Punk that has been full-time since his wrestling return 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Same CM Punk who's been a full-time guy since his AEW run. Same CM Punk who's been full-time since his WWE return.
Yes.
Yeah, but he's a part-timer.
He's very much a full-timer. Like, he's not there every week, but he's very much a full-timer at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And those who say, oh, CM Punk is like The Rock and Hulk Hogan, they're selfish. They only put themselves over. They book themselves to win titles. They bury up-and-coming talent and hold them down. And they're all about themselves, and they're selfish and greedy. And it's all about them. And, you know, they want to hold down the younger upcoming talent and top-tier talent, and they don't care about the future. All the excuses I hear. People comparing CM Punk, calling him CM Hogan and calling him like The Rock. First of all, Punk is not like either of those two. And this is not the same as Rock and Hulk Hogan. And might we educate you? So, ready for class in session? I think so. Here we go. Comparing CM Punk to The Rock. Like, nothing but stupidity. This is not the same as Rock at all. Remember when The Rock took the WWE Championship off of CM Punk at the 2013 Royal Rumble during CM Punk's 434-day reign as WWE Champion? Remember that? And we had The Rock, so he comes back in 2011. He's gone for 7 years since 2004. He comes back, right? And then he wrestles John Cena at WrestleMania 28 in Miami. He's supposed to be once in a lifetime, right? Yeah, and they went back on that, right? And they had, and because he's The Rock, Vince McMahon awarded The Rock a WWE title match against Punk at the Rumble in 2013 simply because he's The Rock. And The Rock takes a title off Punk just so it could be Rock and Cena Part 2 at WrestleMania 29 in New Jersey, MetLife Stadium for the WWE title. And that match stunk up the joint. That match was garbage. Nothing but a finisher fest. And Cena won the title. And it was a terrible match on a terrible WrestleMania. And that night, Punk fought The Undertaker. And CM Punk when Undertaker still had the WrestleMania undefeated streak. It was a good match. It was a decent match. But I think I'm not wrong here, and we can both agree And I think a lot of people can agree here as well that, let's be real, CM Punk should have main evented WrestleMania 29 in 2013 in New Jersey as the WWE champion. If you wanted Cena to win the title at Mania 29, fine, but it could have been Rock, Cena, and Punk in a triple threat for the WWE title in New Jersey at WrestleMania 29, but they didn't do that. And Vince thought Punk couldn't main event WrestleMania, and boy, did CM Punk prove him wrong big time. Especially when Punk main evented WrestleMania last year with Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, and then this year with Roman Reigns. And mind you, CM Punk and Roman Reigns saved this year's WrestleMania. WrestleMania this year wasn't really that good. And now I'm hearing rumors Triple H wants to make this year's SummerSlam in Minneapolis bigger and better than WrestleMania. Boy, no shit. When it could be potentially Punk and Cody, Reigns, Rollins, the original Mania 42 plans had Seth not got hurt last October in Perth. But you catch my drift, right? But I want to get your quick thoughts on this, dude. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. And I know I'm not wrong.
I mean, it's definitely that way. Because, the last few months, there's been no excitement, if we're being honest. Yeah. There's been no excitement. There's no urgency on WWE television. They needed something.
Especially on SmackDown.
Yeah.
But SmackDown's the B show. The WWE title's on there. SmackDown's the fucking B show. Raw's the A show. Raw's better. Isn't Raw the A show and SmackDown the B show? Even though the WWE title's on there? The last time I checked, the World Heavyweight title's the number one title in the company. No, the WWE title's the number one title in the company. No matter what, any brand it's on, it's the number one title.
Yeah.
And SmackDown's the worst show on TV. And I got reports of CM Punk to SmackDown, but with Rock and Cena at WrestleMania 29, that match was trash. The match was bad. It was a finisher fest match, and the match was not good at all. And Punk wrestled Undertaker that night. Punk could have been in that title match main event at WrestleMania 29, but he wasn't because Vince thought he wasn't capable of main eventing WrestleMania.
Wasn't capable of main eventing WrestleMania, yet he wanted Jinder Mahal to go into Mania 34 as WWE champion.
You remember that?
That's the mindset of Vince McMahon. That is the mindset of Vince McMahon.
And like I mentioned, The Rock took the title off Punk. That should have never happened. Like, Rock selfishly took that belt off Punk at the Rumble in 2013. That was like that I hated that. Oh, well, The Rock, he's The Rock. He earned this title shot. He deserved it. What did he do to deserve it? What did he do to earn it? Well, he beat John Cena at WrestleMania 28 in Miami. He beat the Awesome Truth a few months before the 2011 Survivor Series in Madison Square Garden, teaming with John Cena.
Yes, really, because beating the fucking Miz and R-Truth. Because beating the Miz and R-Truth gets you a WWE Championship match. By that logic, should I get a WWE Championship match if I happen to beat the Miz and R-Truth?
Apparently, according to Vince McMahon's logic at the time. Yeah. So then Rock beats Cena at WrestleMania 28, right? In Miami. Rock beats Cena clean. Then Rock's awarded a title match. Why? Why? It's because it's Dwayne Johnson. He didn't earn his title shot. It was handed to him. And he was selfishly
for 7 years.
He was gone since L4 to go to Hollywood. Thinks he's gone for 7, 8, 9 years, still thinking he's a big deal and a big shot. And he pretty much selfishly took that title off Punk, a joke, wanted to bury Punk and buried Punk's reign by taking the title off him. When Punk honestly should have won into Mania that year as champion. But CM Punk is like The Rock. He went everything against what he said about the part-timers holding the full-timers down. He's a hypocrite and went everything against that. Sure thing. And like I said, boy, did Punk prove Vince wrong. Look at Punk main eventing WrestleMania last year and then this year. Boy, did Phil Brooks prove Vince McMahon wrong. So Punk should have absolutely main evented Mania in 2013. Absolutely no questions asked. And then another thing, CM Punk being compared to Hulk Hogan. There are people out there comparing CM Punk to Hulk Hogan, so much so calling CM Punk CM Hogan. This is also not the same as Hulk Hogan. I'll tell you why. Hulk Hogan, you talk about, and now, I mean, God rest his soul, passed away a year ago, and this month coming up a year that he sadly passed away, but Hulk Hogan in the 80s and 90s was a big politician. Oh, that don't work for me, brother. Oh, that don't work for me, brother. And Hulk Hogan constantly pandering and eating your vitamins and saying your prayers, and those 1,000-inch pythons, brother, and the what you gonna do, brother. You know, like typical pandering Hulk Hogan. Bro, remember WrestleMania 9 at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas, Nevada, 1993, WrestleMania 9. Yokozuna had just beat Bret Hart to win the WWE Championship, right? After Mr. Fuji threw salt in Bret Hart's face, blinding Bret, allowing Yokozuna to pin Bret for a 3 count and win the championship. Yokozuna was this dominant monster, undefeated for months, right? He goes on a tearing path. He wins the 93 Royal Rumble, and he main events WrestleMania 9 against Bret Hart for the WWE title, right? And what happens after that? After Yokozuna had just gone through a grueling match with Bret Hart, what happens?
How comes Hogan? He comes out, he's complaining to the referee.
Yeah, constant pandering Hogan.
Yeah. He gets challenged.
And Mr. Fuji challenges Hogan to an impromptu title match against Yokozuna. Come on, you yellow belly. Come on. Come on. And then Bret Hart is like, go ahead, Hogan. Bret gives Hogan his blessing. And then Hogan took the title off Yokozuna, making Yokozuna look like a fucking joke and burying him. One of the worst creative decisions in history on one of the worst WrestleManias in history, WrestleMania 9. Mind you, the same WrestleMania, bro, we got Giant Gonzalez versus The Undertaker. Name me a worse match than that.
Your double main event, the co-main event for WrestleMania 9, was Giant Gonzalez and The Undertaker. And then after the match, after this one, was the Hogan.
And mind you, Hogan,
name me two words. Name me a worst back-to-back match to close up a pay-per-view to this.
And mind you, also, Hulk Hogan wrestled early in the night or in the middle of the show in a tag team match, I think, against, what was a neat tag team name that involved the $1 Million Man?
Yeah. Like, earlier that night, it was him and the Beefcake. Brutus
Barber Beefcake.
They faced it. Yeah, they faced $1 Million Man to DiBiase. Yeah,
everybody's got a prize.
Yeah, and the IRS.
Yep.
That's Bray Wyatt's dad.
Mike Rotunda. Oh,
Hogan and Beefcake lost. God rest his soul, Bray Wyatt. They lost. Hogan and Beefcake, they lost via disqualification.
And out comes Hogan, interrupting Yokozuna's championship celebration when Hogan's fresh as a daisy, and Yokozuna's gone through a grueling match with Bret the Hitman Hart. And Hogan gets an impromptu match, and Hogan plays politics to take the title of Yokozuna. Oh, that don't work for me, brother. Oh, I can't put over Yokozuna at WrestleMania, brother. So Hogan takes a title off Yokozuna, one of the worst creative decisions and one of the most political moves on one of the worst WrestleManias of all time. Garbage. Absolute fucking garbage. And then we go on to the King of the Ring in 1993. They create it as a pay-per-view, right? And we get Hulk Hogan and Yokozuna for the WWE title, right? I read and there's a story with a story going around and people talk about it. Hulk Hogan back in 93 didn't want to put over Bret Hart, didn't want to work with him, didn't want to put him over because he thought Bret Hart was too small and thought Bret Hart was not at his level. Typical political Hulk Hogan. Oh, that don't work for me, brother. That don't work for me, brother. And you know how Hogan lost, and then Hogan faces Yokozuna. the King of the Ring in 93 for the title, right? Hogan drops the championship to Yokozuna. And after that, Hogan leaves the company and goes to WCW a year later in 94. And he's gone for all these years until 2002, where Hogan and the NWO and the WCW almost put Vince McMahon and WWE out of business in the 90s. But you know how Hogan lost the championship to Yokozuna at the King of the Ring in 1993? Was it the Banzai drop? Was it a leg drop? Yes and yes. Nope to neither.
Nope.
Nope to both. You know
He
how
lost
Hogan
because
lost
of a fireball.
from a cameraman? Yes, you
He
heard
lost
that
because of
correctly.
Yes, yeah, we're not making this up. He lost because of a fireball that went from the camera by the cameraman.
What was worse, Hogan losing from a fireball or Goldberg ending, or was Goldberg's WCW undefeated streak ending due to a taser or a cattle prod against Kevin Nash with Scott Hall?
They're both bad. They're both bad. Imagine losing your undefeated streak, by the way, because of a fucking taser. Imagine losing the WWE Championship because of a camera.
A fireball from a cameraman.
I need a question, by the way. I need to ask, by the way. I need to ask something. How do you throw fireball from a camera? How do you hold a camera, but somehow fireballs come out of it?
I'd love to be a fly in the wall on that one, bro. Seriously. So Hogan drops the title to Yokozuna, but not clean. And they had to give Bret Hart something to do with that pay-per-view with the King of the Ring in 93. And I think they had Bret Hart win the King of the Ring that year. And the only reason they did that was because Hogan didn't want to work with Bret and didn't want to put Bret over, because Hogan was leaving the WWF in 93 anyway. And Hogan didn't want to put Bret Hart over on the way out. And he chose Yokozuna because Hogan thought putting over Yokozuna would be a lot more believable than Hogan putting over Bret Hart. Yeah, typical political Hulk Hogan. Yeah, but CM Punk is CM Hogan, right? Oh, that'll work for me, brother.
Yeah.
Oh,
CM Punk is that he's such a political guy.
I've created Hulkamania, and what you gonna do when Hulkamania runs wild on you, brother? In the red and yellow, and his pandering and his
flexing his muscles.
And his 1,000-inch pythons, brother. Yeah, but CM Punk is like Hulk Hogan, right? And CM Hogan, right? Sure thing, pal. Sure thing. CM Punk taking the belt off Sami is not the same as Hogan and Rock playing politics and holding the full-time talent down. Now, could this have been done in a better way? Absolutely, yes. Should Sami Zayn have dropped the title after holding it 90 days with no successful title defenses? I think Sami should have retained and all, because do I think Sami should have helped? Do I think Sami should still be champion now for at least a month instead of 9 days? Yes, I do. But I'm not going to sit here and lose sleep over it and complain about it. And you know why? Because if you look on on social media, Sami Zayn went on his rant after losing the title to Punk. I don't think Sami's done for it. And who knows, with WrestleMania and Saudi next year, we could very well get Sami Zayn as champion at that show. Who knows? But I do think it's more positive than negative with Punk as champion, and I will give you the reasons why. We will, actually. Number one, SmackDown is the worst show on television. What is there on SmackDown that is good to invest your time in outside of Sami Zayn? What is there?
Zero.
Whereas before Punk got there, nobody watched anything SmackDown related. Punk on SmackDown literally makes SmackDown go from a here to I can miss to here where you can't miss. CM Punk on SmackDown literally makes the show that much better, legitimately, and it moves the needle. It's a game changer. Like, it literally brings SmackDown from, you know what, I can miss SmackDown, won't miss a thing, to from here to here where, you know what, oh my goodness, I gotta watch the show. I can't miss. That's the power of CM Punk. Like CM Punk, and to those who think, oh, CM Punk's not a draw, Where's SmackDown tonight in Oklahoma City? The same city where he won his first world title in 2008, by the way. Fun little fact.
Yeah.
That show was what, sold out? Oh, I think tonight for SmackDown Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, they have sold 6,401 tickets out of 6,800 tickets tonight for SmackDown. But CM Punk's not a draw.
So they are close to a sellout.
But Phil Brooks ain't a draw.
Rob.
Yeah, sure
This
thing.
show has been terrible. This show has been terrible for a year now, 18 months now.
Over a year, never mind a year.
Yeah.
You know? And there's actually with reasons with Punk on SmackDown, I'm going to bring them up here. It says also right here that it was also a USA Network thing that they have wanted Punk on SmackDown for a while. It apparently NBCU has pushed for CM Punk on the blue brand for over a year. And apparently, according to, and this is from WrestleVotes on Fightful, CM Punk is reportedly set for a lengthy reign as the WWE Undisputed Champion, mainly on SmackDown. NBCU has pushed for him on the brand for over a year, with Raw appearances happening when needed, but for the most part, pretty much on SmackDown. And also, according to WrestleVotes, NBC Universal pushing Punk on SmackDown for well over a year, viewing Punk as one of WWE's biggest stars. It's also believed that CM Punk joining the blue brand could help SmackDown regain the momentum it has lost in recent months. Where are the lies? When you have NBC Universal saying that, yeah, SmackDown sucks and they need all the help they can get, there you go.
Literally. When you have the network acknowledging the fact that their show sucks. They need
SmackDown is bad. SmackDown is bad and it needs to change.
Yeah. Yeah, they need a star. Real, legitimate, genuine superstar to bring back interest to the show. That's how you know there's a
where's the life? Where's the soul? Like CM Punk brings that back on SmackDown. CM Punk is that life, that guy that interjects life back to SmackDown, and he absolutely will interject life on SmackDown, no questions asked. He will make that show infinitely better, no doubt. You got CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn, and don't forget Kevin Owens. He's been doing some cryptic messages on Instagram. What if Kevin Owens is cleared and he's involved in this? We get Sami, Owens, Punk, Cody in the top 4 on SmackDown. Then you got Gunther in there. You got Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton, Finn Balor, who, by the way, shut down the people who thought CM Punk's a cancer. Punk lobbied for Balor to get a title shot on Raw in Dublin early this year to get Balor back as his black and gold Balor. Yeah, but CM Punk's a cancer, right? And he contributes nothing. Sure thing. Punk went to bat for Balor. And with Balor on SmackDown, is it a coincidence with Punk now starting on SmackDown tonight and not long before that, Balor to SmackDown? Coincidence?
No.
Maybe CM Punk lobbied for that too. It wouldn't surprise me. And plus, CM Punk on SmackDown is fresh. He did everything there was to do on Raw. He was world champion, carried Raw on his back for months as world champion, wrestled Roman, wrestled Seth, wrestled almost everyone on Raw pretty much. There was nothing left from there. Punk on SmackDown is a breath of fresh air and brings new life to the show. And you got fresh opponents for CM Punk. Cody Rhodes, which is a WrestleMania-worthy match. Sami Zayn. Kevin Owens, which is another big match you can do for Punk outside of Punk and Cody. Another biggest match you can do outside of Punk and Cody is Punk and Owens. CM Punk and Gunther. CM Punk and Orton. Punk and who else you got? You could do Punk and Balor again. I would not mind that. They had good string of matches early this year, even going to the Elimination Chamber in Chicago. CM Punk versus Ricky Saints, who have history from AEW Collision 3 years ago, and Punk was with Collision. CM Punk and Royce Keys, CM Punk and Carmelo Hayes, CM Punk and Trick Williams, CM Punk and Ilya Dragunov. there's a lot of fresh matches for Punk on SmackDown, and Punk to SmackDown is best for business. It's Punk to SmackDown really is a great move. It really is. It's gonna move the needle. It changes the game. And Punk's a guy, and even if there's shitty writers on SmackDown, if they want something so terrible that doesn't make sense, is CM Punk gonna go along with it, or is he gonna sit there and combat these guys? Guys, I don't think we should do this. This is not a good idea. This ain't gonna come off well. Let's not do this and come up with something else much better instead. Do you think CM Punk's gonna do that, or is he just gonna go along with the shitty writing on SmackDown?
He absolutely will never go with shitty writing.
I agree. Like, that's the power of CM Punk, and who knows? You know how CM Punk was with Collision? Maybe Punk on SmackDown is Punk's new Collision. Like how CM Punk ran Collision 3 years ago before his incident with Jack Perry. And ever since CM Punk left, and don't bullshit yourself, when CM Punk left AEW, Collision went down the drain after that. And now Collision's basically like a Rampage 5.0. And nobody watches that show. I really think Punk to SmackDown is more good than bad. And Punk is the face of CM Punk is the face of SmackDown, by the way. Oh, but that's Cody Rhodes. Really? Really now? Speaking of which, with Punk and Cody, two of your biggest stars on the same show on SmackDown, one of them's got to go heel. And according to Brian Alvarez, he thinks CM Punk, and listen to this, Brian Alvarez thinks that, Brian Alvarez believes that CM Punk heel turn can be on the horizon. I don't think so at all. I think this is Alvarez, just his opinion. CM Punk is more of a babyface since he's been back. You know who should go heel? Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes desperately needs a heel turn. If there's anybody that needs to go heel, it's Cody Rhodes. He is stale and boring. Big time. Big time. Oh, but you can't turn Cody Rhodes heel. It's because of The Rock on the board. Dwayne can't even be bothered to show up. So no, if Cody were to go heel anytime now, it would not be because of Dwayne Johnson. It would not be because of Dwayne Johnson. Cody Rhodes really needs a character change. Like Cody going heel a year ago, probably not. But now, yes. Cody's act has gotten very, very stale. Whoa. So, what do you guys want to talk about? Oh, but he's the American Nightmare. He's the face of the company. You can't turn him heel. What are you talking about? You can't turn him heel. With Punk now on SmackDown,
this guy has the same Golden Boy storyline the last 2 years.
He's not a gold. You claim he's their golden. The TKO's a corporate golden goose. Their cash cow. And Mr. Politician.
That's the same storyline they give him.
You know, he overcomes all the. He's like a Cena Hogan, overcoming all the odds, and that gets very tired very fast. Like, that kind of a babyface just doesn't work. It really doesn't. Like, look what his stuff with Kevin Owens and Drew McIntyre and Gunther, overcoming the heels and the heels complaining. Yeah, such riveting television there.
Yeah.
But it's good. But it is good television.
It's terrible television.
But Owens rightfully complained. McIntyre did that the management were favoring Cody. And then Gunther's mad that the company's favoring their golden boy.
And what's the difference between any of those storylines?
There is none. There is none. With Punk and Cody on the same show, you can't have them on the same show with both of them as baby faces. One has to go heel. And hear me out. Do you think with Punk, and I want to get your opinion, with CM Punk now on SmackDown, and he's a WWE champion, could this be the catalyst to turn Cody Rhodes heel? Because CM Punk and Cody have been having these promos the past, year or so, going into the Rumble last year, and then most notably recently, the Raw after Mania this year, where Punk said, quote to Cody, I got to be ready, because you never know when a championship opportunity will fall out of the sky.
That's what he said.
And boy, he predicted that with Raw this past Monday in Chicago when Cody got taken out by Gunther. But do you think this could be the catalyst to turn Cody Rhodes heel?
Should be.
I know some people, CM Punk is a heel. He can be heel. Punk is cheered no matter what. And, like, Punk is more of a babyface than Cody, and especially since he's been back. Look at Punk's feud since he's been back. And look at Cody since he finished his story after coming out of WrestleMania 40. Like, which one has been here? Which one has been here?
Punk has been much better.
Oh, but Cody Rhodes wrestled AJ Styles and Solo Sikoa and Kevin Owens and John Cena. Sikoa was a loser, the pin guy in the bloodline before going into WrestleMania 40.
Then all of a sudden he gets
the title shot at SummerSlam 2024.
The man went on a 6-month losing streak after beating John Cena at Crown Jewel.
With 11 Samoan spikes, by the way.
Yeah, how do you win with 11 Samoan spikes? And then within the next 6 months, you're losing to LA Knight.
He lost to LA Knight, AJ Styles, Randy Orton, lost to almost every guy in the SmackDown roster. He was the loser in the bloodline. It was a jobber.
Yeah. He was the only member of the bloodline to not even have a match at WrestleMania that year. At WrestleMania 40, right? He didn't even have a match there.
No, he didn't, yeah. And here he gets a title shot. But Cody Rhodes, it's been good for Cody since coming out of WrestleMania 40. No one deserved it more than Sikoa. He put in the hard work. He was a loser. A loser.
Yeah, he was the jobber. He lost every match.
But Cody Rhodes wrestled AJ Styles, where AJ had no shot of winning.
Yeah, no shot of winning. By that logic, Solo Sikoa is a loser. By that logic, should we give Tozawa a WWE Championship match?
Fuck no. Fuck no.
Say Akira Tozawa, who loses every match. Should we give him a title shot because he deserves it?
No.
Should we give Humberto Carrillo a championship match because he deserves it?
No.
No, they lose every match. They don't deserve title shots.
Yeah. But they recreated the Mark Henry retirement with AJ Styles. Ah, yes. Ah, yes. Oh, yeah, such riveting television, yeah?
Yeah, riveting. Exciting.
Oh, but Cody Rhodes wrestled Kevin Owens. That was the only good part of Cody's first reign as champion. Especially the very good ladder match at the 2025 Royal Rumble. That was great. Oh, but then Cody Rhodes was wrestling John Cena at WrestleMania last year. Yeah, Travis Scott on there, by the way.
Awful.
You have a guy who can't even throw a punch. Rock can't even be bothered to show up, and he should have showed up. He didn't. And it tainted John Cena's last ever WrestleMania match. I just want you to remember that. John Cena winning his number 17 was because of a celebrity in Travis Scott.
Travis fucking Scott.
Which Cena and Cody had a terrible match at WrestleMania 41 on night 2. Their SummerSlam match last year blew that WrestleMania match out of the water. That should have been the WrestleMania match a year ago. Oh, but Cody wrestled McIntyre in his second reign as champion. Went back and forth. It felt like the feud wasn't ending. Then Drew finally won the belt in 3 stages of hell. It felt fresh. And Cody wins it back. And then we get Cody and Randy at this year's Mania. Cody's third reign, by the way. And what do we get? Do we get a good, rich history story with Cody and Randy going way back to the Legacy days, going into Mania like it should be? Do we get that at WrestleMania?
No.
Of course we didn't. We got Pat McAfee. Pat fucking McAfee to stink up the joint, to ruin the Cody-Randy storyline to the point where nobody really wants to see it at all anymore, this Cody and Randy stuff. Pat McAfee killed all of it.
Yeah.
Because Ari Emanuel wanted to sell more tickets to WrestleMania. It's the only reason that happened. Well, if you lower the ticket prices, then you wouldn't have to add Pat McAfee, a celebrity, in your WrestleMania plans.
Yeah, Pat McAfee, who the last time we saw was feuding with Gunther the year before as a babyface. Yet somehow he comes back and he's a heel, somehow.
Make it make sense. Then Cody beats Randy at WrestleMania. Pat McAfee's gone for good. And then Orton's been out since Mania. Now he has a back injury. Then we get Cody Rhodes and Gunther going into Clash in Italy, and it's decent going into Clash in Italy. And then we have the terrible finish where Gunther had his leg underneath the bottom rope at Clash in Italy with the ref not seeing it. Garbage finish. And then we interject Sami Zayn. He makes the feud better again. And Sami Zayn's been the best part of SmackDown. We lead to the triple threat match at Night of Champions, Sami, Cody, Gunther. Sami Zayn wins the championship, right? Oh, but you couldn't give it to Gunther? They dropped the ball with Gunther. How do you go from retiring John Cena and AJ Styles to having the ball be dropped on? How do you do that? Like, how is that even possible? Like a guy like Gunther. Unbelievable. So Sami wins the championship, right? He wins it in Saudi. And yes, it was the right move. It couldn't have Cody winning and retaining at Night of Champions would have been very, very safe. And we've all said Triple H needs to stop playing it safe so much. He needs to start taking more risks. Sami winning a title in Saudi at Night of Champions was a risk. Even if it was for 9 days, at least Sami Zayn can call himself a WWE champion. Even if it was for 9 days. And we didn't expect him to hold that long either. And Sami was never really supposed to be in the plans as a long-term world champion, especially with Punk and Cody always being the plan at SummerSlam. Now, does Punk and Cody need the title? No. But especially with 3 weeks to go for a build for SummerSlam. But also, Triple H has TKO and Ari Emanuel and Mark Shapiro to answer to, sadly. They need to sell SummerSlam tickets. What is the bigger selling point to sell out SummerSlam? Is it Punk? Is it Sami Zayn as WWE champion versus Cody or Punk and Cody for the title? And maybe add Sami Zayn involved, make it a triple threat. Which one is more attractive to sell tickets?
Ask me honestly, if it were up to me, I would honestly do a triple threat match.
And it could be leading to that. And Sami Zayn. Yeah, and Sami Zayn being the best part of SmackDown, you're not going to leave him off the card. I think there's probably a good chance he's in the title match between Punk and Cody at SummerSlam, making it a triple threat. Because you're not leaving Sami off the card. I'm telling you that right now. If you leave Sami Zayn off the SummerSlam card, we got a problem. Oh, but what about Sami Zayn and Johnny Gargano? I've said with Johnny laying on a crate for 6 months on SmackDown that we need a payoff. But Sami Zayn's the best thing. You're not leaving him off the card, and I would have him on the card in the title match. You know, that's what I would do. You know, like
Johnny Gargano has been sleeping on a crate, looking depressed.
Yeah, no shit.
And you want Sami Zayn to face him one-on-one.
He's like
at SummerSlam. Yeah, he's like that. Like, we should not be wasting Sami Zayn on this.
No. Yeah. I love Johnny Gargano, but like, and you know, and also look at though with CM Punk on SmackDown, I thought about this last night. CM Punk, now that he's on SmackDown as WWE champion, he brought Finn Balor back to life. Who knows? Maybe CM Punk can do the same thing for Johnny Wrestling. Just saying.
Do that.
If he can do it for Finn Balor, he can do it for Johnny Gargano as well. And Gargano and Punk's another fresh match that I would love to see. And CM Punk on SmackDown, you damn well know he's going to have creative freedom. How do you not have him have creative freedom on SmackDown? And Punk on SmackDown's going to have a big say as well. But with SummerSlam, one of the reasons Punk took the title off Sami, you need to think about SummerSlam. Look at the ticket sales for SummerSlam, dude. Comparing it to last year, look at it this year. Embarrassing. Look at the tick. Like I think I have it pulled up. They have like barely 30,000 tickets sold for both nights for SummerSlam in Minneapolis, where last year they had 50 to 60,000 sold out for last year in MetLife, and this year barely 30,000. That is embarrassing. That's embarrassing.
That's what happens when you have an ice cold product right now.
Well, why is SummerSlam not sold out? Oh, I don't know.
Ticket prices are too high.
Way too much shit product with with prices way too expensive and outpricing the average families and fans. Like outpricing the show way more than the current product. Like, how about you lower your ticket prices, Ari, Shapiro, TKO, and you wouldn't have a problem selling out your pay-per-view SummerSlam, your PLE SummerSlam. It's unbelievable to me. Like barely 30,000 tickets sold out the door. That is embarrassing, dude. That is absolutely that's pathetic. No one. No, you wonder now. You see why they put the title on Punk.
Yeah.
Well, Punk's not going to sell out SummerSlam. Well, with him champion, they will now, I'm sure. But before, what was SmackDown before he got there? And where was the SummerSlam build before Punk got on SmackDown? It was non-existent. It wasn't there. Well, you have Reigns and Rollins.
That's on Raw.
Yeah. But my goodness, it's like, but with CM Punk on SmackDown, got other news with it as well. Reading other news. And also, by the way, for those who think, oh, CM Punk is not a difference maker, he's not a draw, he's not going to make SmackDown better. Look at the SmackDown card for tonight. CM Punk returns as the new champion. Trick Williams versus Carmelo Hayes. And Finn Balor versus Tama Tonga. Could you imagine if Punk was not advertised for SmackDown tonight and we got Trick and Mello and Balor and Tama?
So be so bad.
No, it wouldn't be. It's 2 hours. What's there to complain about? It's not the length of the show.
The show could be 90 minutes. It doesn't matter.
It could be 60 minutes.
It doesn't matter. A terrible show is a terrible show. No matter how long it goes.
Well, last week was a decent show. It was 2 hours. What did we get last week? Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso in a #1 contender match. So let me get this straight. Jey Uso loses the King of the Ring final in Saudi at Night of Champions to Oba Femi in a terrible match. And then days later on SmackDown, July 3rd of this year on SmackDown, he gets a #1 contender match against Cody Rhodes. Make it make sense. And Jey Uso, a Raw guy, challenging for a #1 contendership for a SmackDown title. Why? Why? And he had a terrible match with Cody, by the way, on SmackDown last week, by the way. You can't even have a good match with Cody or an Oba. That's a problem. Like, Jey Uso is one of the worst singles wrestlers today in modern wrestling. Bar none. Oba, he's over. He does yeet. He sells a lot of merchandise. Oh, yes, the yeet. Oh, the Mark's doing the yeet.
Yeah, this is what we are judging wrestlers for. Not their in-ring skills, not their promo skills. No, no catchphrase.
And then don't even get me started on Jey Uso doing that. Then running it back. Oh my God.
No wonder this man gets gassed out.
He had a terrible match with Oba at Night of Champions. Hit a botched super kick while countering the Fall from Grace powerbomb. He has a terrible match with Cody Rhodes as well. How do you have a bad match with Oba and with Cody? Oh, and by the way, remember when people were saying Jey Uso had his best match with CM Punk last November at Saturday Night's Main Event in Utah.
Oh my god.
This man botched a simple neck breaker sell from Punk, made Punk and the move look bad, and Jey Uso botched the selling of it. And Punk kicked him right in the head, and Punk was mad that Jey Uso couldn't even sell a simple move, a neck breaker.
CM Punk has been the same guy who's been wrestling for 25 years. He has never botched a neck breaker in his career, and yet the one time he botches it, it's the guy who is taking the move. He is spinning. Instead of landing on his back, he lands on his face, and not even on his face. It doesn't even touch the ground itself.
Imagine botching a neck breaker sell. Like one of the simplest of moves. I don't know how you screw that up and not sell for that move properly. That is just next to humanly impossible.
Embarrassing.
And then this man, Jey Uso, he beat Gunther in a tap out in a sleeper hold at WrestleMania last year. My God, that another garbage move. And Gunther's not been the same since that. Totally not believable, as you say, right, bro?
Yeah, that none of it was realistic. It didn't look believable. Did not look convincing.
And imagine had this man, Jey Uso, won the King of the Ring. Man, people would be going for Triple H's head. Oh, well, Jey Uso won the King of the Ring? No. Imagine being a creative writer in the back, and you come up with the idea in the back of Jey Uso being the King of the Ring winner. Or someone pitching that in creative. A creative writer in the back pitching that idea. If someone pitched that idea to me in the back in creative, they would be fired immediately on the spot. What a terrible, terrible idea. And then so Oba wins the King of the Ring, and he forfeits his King of the Ring title shot to wrestle Brock Lesnar in Hell in a Cell at SummerSlam, making King of the Ring like Money in the Bank. Yeah, Seth Rollins should have won the King of the Ring. If you were going to do that, Seth should have won the fucking tournament. Garbage.
Should have been Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker in the final.
But they didn't make King of the Ring like Money in the Bank. You're wrong on that, buddy.
Wrong on that. Bro, the King of the Ring is the winner of the King of the Ring is supposed to have a guaranteed, let me say once again, guaranteed World Championship match at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
So what? But by that logic, Open Fury's gonna capture his title shot after Roman retains over Seth right away? By that logic, Roman Reigns is gonna defend the championship. He retained. He looks vulnerable, and then we hear and Open Fury does his strut, and then he announces that he's cashing in immediately, and then he beats Roman in like 20 seconds. By that logic, this is your logic.
Yeah, that's your logic, Paul.
Yeah. That's logic. Yeah, let's have the King of the Ring winner pretend that he's the Money in the Bank winner, even though he doesn't have the briefcase.
You make it like Money in the Bank 2.0, making the King of the Ring this year meaningless.
Literally. Both King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring.
No, not the Queen of the Ring. You're wrong on that. Liv Morgan, Women's World Champion in the Queen of the Ring finals. Why?
Yeah. Same with Morgan, who has not defended the Women's World Championship since winning it at WrestleMania 2 months ago.
Well, she calls herself the greatest Women's World Champion of all time. This is me when I hear Liv Morgan say that on Raw every fucking week.
Yeah. Greatest Women's World Champion of all time. Yet she has defended the belt 0 times. Her only title defense was at a house show where she nearly injured her knee.
Well, she's defending it against EO at SummerSlam. Yeah, and I'm not feeling that match at all for SummerSlam.
The same Io Sky who defeated her clean in the middle of the ring.
After Jane Housen cursed her.
Yeah. The same Io Sky who defeated her clean at the Night of Champions. She's defending her title against that same person.
And Danhausen cursed Liv Morgan, by the way.
Yeah.
Because he's stealing Dominic Mysterio's monies. Oh, by the way, before moving on to other stuff, Scripps WF, what's up, man? Hey, Nick and Adam. What's up? Make sure you subscribe to Furious Nation, hit the bell for all notifications. Yes, hi guys. And they'll learn to. Hi guys. And Ricky from the People's Wrestling Channel, what's up, brother? Hey guys, I'm not feeling it. My Facebook account got suspended, no idea why, so I have lost everything. Ricky, I am very sorry to hear that. I don't know what happened, but keep your head up, man. Things will be okay, and I'm really sorry that Facebook account got suspended. I mean, it'll be okay. If they suspend it, but you get it back at a certain time, sure, it'll be okay. But I'm really sorry to hear about that, Ricky. Then Script says, what is this? The illegitimate brother of what is this? The illegitimate brother of Money in the Bank?
Probably.
So he made King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring meaningless.
Maybe Obafemi should trade his crown for a world title match. Maybe that's how he's gonna cash in. He's gonna cash in his crown.
You know what I would do, honestly?
Is the crown can the crown even fit his head?
Yes, but it's like they made King and Queen of the Ring meaningless. If you were gonna do that, and if you're gonna do that, then can we just get rid of the Money in the Bank gimmick pay-per-view and have the Money in the Bank's return at WrestleMania? Like, if you're gonna make King of the Ring like another Money in the Bank, kill the Money in the Bank gimmick pay-per-view and have the Money in the Banks back at WrestleMania, if that's what you're gonna do. Because they made the King and Queen of the Ring tournaments this year absolutely worthless.
Why didn't they just have Brock Lesnar cost Oba in the first round?
Yeah, he could have had Braun Breaker and Obafemi in the semifinals.
Yeah. Why not? Why couldn't they just have Oba and then Braun in the semis? Have Brock Lesnar interfere.
But that's too soon to do Braun Breaker and Obafemi. No, it's not. Who says it's too soon?
Yeah. These two are going to be the face of the company for the next 20 years.
Yeah. What do you mean?
They can always have plenty of time to have the face off.
Yeah.
Why not just have Brock Lesnar interfere? He cost Oba, then have Oba chase Brock. Maybe they could have done maybe a segment between them at Night of Champions.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, could have still had Oba on the show, even if not in a match. At least you're building a story.
Yeah.
At least you're building a storyline.
But what the fuck do we know, right?
Yeah.
But going back to the Cody Punk thing going into SummerSlam, I think we get Punk and Cody for the WWE Championship at SummerSlam. And maybe this is the catalyst to turn Cody heel and stuff. Maybe Kevin Owens, he got neck surgery last July. Maybe Owens is cleared. And I'm telling you now, if Kevin Owens is back in the fold on SmackDown, I'm telling you, like, that's another big deal for SmackDown. Like, his presence is absolutely missed, is Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
You know? Imagine we get Kevin Owens involved with this Cody Punk and Sami thing and the WWE title picture potentially going into Mania next year. I'd love that.
That'll be good. I mean, by all accounts, the videos I've been watching of KO, I'm sure you've seen that video with him and Sami and Becky. Kevin Owens is moving well.
Yeah,
he's moving well. He's healthy.
Yeah,
maybe it's closer to getting cleared.
Yeah, so we can have Kevin Owens back in the mix. Yeah. Oh, Ricky in the chat. I also found out my father is dead. He wasn't the best father ever, but still. And Script says, "I'm so sorry for your loss, Ricky. My thoughts and prayers are with you." Ricky, I am very, very sorry for your loss. I know what it's like to lose a father. I lost my father 11 years ago. He had pancreatic cancer and died at 70. So I know what it's like to sadly lose a father, and I'm really sorry for your loss, Ricky. And sending my prayers and thoughts and condolences to you, bro. If you ever need anything at all, please don't be afraid to reach out, and we're all here for you. So please don't ever feel like you're alone. We're all here for you, and I'm very, very sorry for your loss. Sending my love, my prayers, thoughts, and condolences to you. in your family. I'm so sorry to hear that, Ricky. So, as we were saying about with Kevin Owens, imagine you have a SmackDown show with Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, at least those four at the top. You got Gunther, Randy, McIntyre, Balor. Man, SmackDown could look like the A show again. Just by those 8 names alone. Plus, you got rising stars like Trick Williams, Carmelo Hayes, Ricky Saints, Ilya Dragunov, Royce Keys. You know? Maybe some NXT call-ups like Tony D'Angelo to the main roster. Who knows?
Maybe.
But with Punk taking the belt off Sami, now I want to get your thoughts before we move on to the next topic about Sheamus. Do you hate CM Punk taking the title off Sami, and do you think this could have been done better? And do you hate the idea of Punk's the champion? Do you think Punk taking the belt off Sami is the right decision?
I mean, I do wish that Sami got to keep the belt at the very least until SummerSlam. It could have, like at the very least, SummerSlam, he could have dropped the belt there, but Punk as a world champion is not a wrong move. It is absolutely not. And honestly, this is probably what they needed to do. I mean, if you look at, especially with the state of SmackDown, they needed, something fresh. They need something big. They need a shot in the arm, and CM Punk is that shot in the arm. And the thing with Punk, he brings that excitement, that feeling of can't miss television when anything he does, whether it's a match or a promo, he brings that excitement and a can't miss feeling to it. So him as the WWE champion, although I wish Sami got to hold it a little bit longer, I think Punk as the WWE champion is the right decision. I think, he would bring legitimacy and excitement back to the SmackDown brand. And Punk is the type of guy that takes no BS from anybody. He doesn't take bullshit.
No.
He tells it what it is.
Yes.
He's a realist.
Yes.
He's all about story.
He's as real as it gets. And absolutely. Yeah. He is of long-term booking of CM Punk.
Yeah. Honestly, if anyone can have a good reign, if anybody can have the best WWE title reign that we've seen in a while, I think it's going to be CM Punk.
I agree. And he's expected to have a lengthy reign. So those who think, CM Punk, this is bullshit, he's getting a long reign, he's holding SmackDown down. First of all, he's not going to hold the show down. A, and B, Punk with the championship with a long reign, get used to it. Get used to it.
Yeah.
There's those CM Punk haters in the AEW that goes, CM Punk's is a cancer, he's short-tempered, he can't control his temper. Balor went on an interview with Chris Van Vliet saying that Punk went out of his way for him. Yeah, but CM Punk is a cancer, right? Sure thing.
Sure thing, buddy. Sure thing.
And with Punk, and Punk taking the belt off Sami, I mean, I will say, like nobody's gonna hate on Punk. Like everybody loves CM Punk, and are we ever gonna hate on CM Punk? Factually, are we gonna ever hate on Punk? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And if you were going to take the belt off Sami, I would much rather Punk take it off him than Cody. Imagine if Cody won that match on Monday. Cody would have gotten, how Roman Reigns got go-away heat in 2017 after he beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania 33, where that Raw in Orlando, the Raw after WrestleMania 33, Undertaker, Roman sucks, and Roman Reigns got, shut the fuck up, fuck you, Roman, and he got go-away chants. Before Roman Reigns said, this is my yard now, and he got booed out of the building. If Cody would have took the belt back from Sami on Monday, you would have killed Cody's career as a babyface, so much so to the point where you would have been forced to turn Cody heel for sure, big time at that point. And you can't do that. And that would have been big negativity towards Triple H, everyone going for his head, and you don't want that. So if you were going to take the belt off Sami, I would much rather Punk take it off him than Cody. Like, if Cody would have took the belt off Sami, you would have killed Cody's career.
What, a decade? And yeah. Punk hasn't been WWE champion since, 2013?
Yeah.
Cody's been WWE champion 3 times in 2 years.
Yeah. Like, if Cody would have took the belt off Sami, Cody would have gotten go-away heat as a babyface. Like, you would have killed that man's career. Like, if Cody would have beat Sami in Chicago, I'm telling you right now, Cody would have been eaten alive by that crowd every single week, to the point where now they have to turn this guy heel. And Cody Rhodes needs to be heel, by the way. He, like I said earlier, if there's anyone that needs a character change or a heel turn, it's Cody Rhodes. He works better as a heel anyway. Like, Cody is a heel who's pretending to be a babyface. I've said this countless times on the channel. I'll say it again. Cody Rhodes is a heel pretending and trying so hard to be a babyface, but he's a better heel than he is a babyface. I think Cody as a heel would also inject new life to not only SmackDown, but the product as a whole. Like, we talk about Triple H need to stop playing it safe so much and start taking more risks. Cody Rhodes turning heel, what do you say? Big risk, big reward?
Yeah.
You know, that would be like Punk to SmackDown's the best thing. Cody turning heel is also best for business, especially. So I'm hoping with CM Punk on SmackDown now as WWE champion, I really hope this starts to be the catalyst of Cody going heel. And maybe Kevin Owens is that catalyst too, not just Punk. Because you're not going to have Cody and Punk on SmackDown with both as baby faces, especially if they're going to wrestle each other at SummerSlam. And I don't think it's and I don't think it's one and done between the two of them at SummerSlam as well with Punk and Cody. I'm sure they'll have more matches past SummerSlam, but they both can't be faces. One of them has to go heel. And I hope it's Cody. And I'm sure you say the same thing too. And then Script says, I hate that Sami is used as a transitional champion, but mark my words, Punk would not be champion if Raw wasn't in Chicago. Well, Punk requested to be back with Chicago Raw July 6th to be a way to move to SmackDown, so that was the way. But if you watch Sami Zayn's Twitter rant, he was cussing and stuff. It's not over for Sami. It's not over for Sami Zayn in the WWE title picture. He will be involved in Cody and Punk somehow. I'm telling you, mark my words. And I read something for Saturday night's main event as well. New WWE champion CM Punk has also been confirmed as him appearing at Saturday night's main event next weekend, July 18th in Madison Square Garden. I would assume maybe Punk and Cody, and not maybe either Punk and Sami in a rematch for the title in the Garden, or Cody versus Sami, number one contender match for Punk's title at SummerSlam. I think one of those two for the Garden, right? For Saturday night's main event.
Yeah, I think.
And the Madison Square Garden and Saturday night's main event next weekend, July 18th, it needs a big match. Look at that card for Saturday night's main event, bro. JD McDonough and Danhausen and Paige and Brie Bella versus Fallon Henley and Lainey Reed, a Fatal Influence for the women's tag team titles. Name me a worse lineup for Saturday night's main event. Man, does that card so far look like shit.
Danhausen versus JD McDonald's.
And Danhausen's been stealing the Judgment Day's monies and cursing the Judgment Day.
So we went from Danhausen versus The Miz and Kit Wilson to Danhausen versus.
I still want to know
JD.
why Danhausen feuded with The Miz and Kit Wilson, why that's still going on.
Yeah.
Why are we continuing that feud? And now we get Danhausen with the Judgment Day. Why? And you know what they did on Raw this past Monday night? Or not this past Monday night. I think the Raw before 4th of July, I think. Where there was a money briefcase at ringside. JD McDonough and Dominic Mysterio open it to get their monies back, and then smoke comes out. I was expecting green slime. Remember when Seth Rollins was pranked by Dean Ambrose on Raw in the fall of 2014, and Seth Rollins was getting his briefcase back, and he opens it, and green slime gets all over in Seth Rollins' face? Remember that?
Exciting.
I was expecting that for JD McDonough and Dominic Mysterio right there.
You know they'll do that.
It didn't happen, but it was smoke, and I'm like, I was expecting the green slime, and that if that would happen, but I would have been like, I swear I would have shut the show off right there. That is Vince McMahon. That is Vince McMahon-esque booking written all over that. Like, what are we doing here? Danhausen with the Judgment Day and comedic with campy comedy. Same thing with Danhausen with the Miz and Kit Wilson, and that's still going on. And you have Matt Cardona involved. Why?
Because we need to continue the feud somehow. We had Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo in there.
Yeah, they got cursed.
They're not fans of the Knicks.
Two talented guys, and you have them with Danhausen being cursed.
Come on, bro. They don't like the Knicks, bro. They need to be cursed.
And they're centering the Saturday Night's Main Event in MSG next weekend around Danhausen. And I don't think that show sold out too. And have you seen the insane ticket prices for that show too? And insane. What are they, like 110 or something in the nosebleeds? Like, who's going to pay 110? Imagine you're a family and you go to MSG Saturday Night's Main Event, and the nosebleeds, the cheapest is $110. You're paying over $500 for tickets for that show. Plus, you got to think of a taxi or a plane and a hotel and food, merchandise.
That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Big time. But you add Punk Sami for the title in a rematch, or Cody versus Sami and Saturday Night's Main Event in the Garden next weekend. Honestly, Saturday Night's Main Event in MSG next weekend needs a big match, because right now the card looks terrible. It looks horrendous. JD McDonough and Danhausen in the women's tag team title match with Fatal Influence versus Paige and Brie Bella. Yes, Paige and Brie Bella in 2026. The fucking Bella twins. Oh, but Nikki Bella could come back. Please no.
So that the Fatal Influence can lose?
Please no. Could you imagine we get Nikki Bella back and the Bellas turn on Paige? We get the Bellas, then it eventually leads to the Bellas losing the women's tag titles to Paige and AJ Lee. The Bellas and Paige and AJ Lee. Like, am I in 2015 or am I in 2026? This isn't the Divas era. This is the women's era. Like, what are we doing? Like, imagine they do that. I wouldn't be surprised.
If anything, the Fatal Influence should be the women's tag team champions.
I'm sorry?
If anything, why can't we just have Fatal Influence with all the championships?
Yeah, they're the better act. Clearly. And by the way, Brie Bella complaining that her SmackDown match last week against Lainey Reed went 3 minutes, and Brie Bella complained about that. Why did my match get 3 minutes and not more than 3 minutes? Listen, Brie, nobody asked for a Brie Bella more than 3 minute match in 2026. Nobody asked for that. Miss Brie Bella. I'm sorry, I don't want to sit through a 10-minute botch mode match. I'm sorry. But moving on. That's enough with the CM Punk. But yes, Punk on SmackDown, best move. And I could only hope SmackDown is better from here on out. It can't be like with Punk on SmackDown now. It can't be worse. It's just impossible. Punk will inject life into that show. Mark my words. CM Punk will inject life into SmackDown that it absolutely desperately needs. I'm telling you right here and now. But with Raw in Chicago, what were your thoughts on the show? I thought it was probably the top 3 best shows of the year. As less exciting as the product is nowadays. I'm sorry?
It was a solid show. It was solid.
And they had a thing on the show where it was a nice beginning setup and a good end setup. Like I like those kind of shows. Like, things happen chaotic in the beginning that lead to something big in the end. I like shows like that. you know? And I think he had like Gunther confront Sami and Gunther attack Cody. And he attacked Cody Rhodes with the car door, and Cody was bleeding from his head, and Cody wasn't cleared to compete. Honestly, didn't expect that, and honestly, it was the right move. Again, if Cody would have went into there okay and beat Sami, that would have been bad. But I'm glad they didn't do that. And stuff like that. Now, then we got Seth Rollins with an opening promo. But this was a good promo. LA Knight came up there, saved the segment, and pretty much buried Seth on the mic. Oh, but Seth Rollins was a good promo on that Raw on Monday night in Chicago. Welcome to Monday Night Rollins. Mentioning a shield in this. Whoa. Then LA Knight saved Seth Rollins from stinking up the joint. I'm sorry?
Exciting.
LA Knight has been the MVP of this entire Seth and Roman build to SummerSlam. Why is he not in the world title match?
Better.
Oh, but LA Knight is going to get a push. He deserves to be world champion. What about LA Knight winning the Money in the Bank? Good luck.
Good luck.
No, but he will win the Money in the Bank briefcase. He deserves to win it.
Sure.
He's going to win it. He deserves to win. I don't know if Triple H is ever going to push him at this point, honestly. I wonder what LA Knight's going to do at SummerSlam. LA Knight and Solo Sikoa versus the Usos? I think that's where they're going.
Oh my God. Please, no.
Sikoa's actually been pretty tolerable lately since leaving the MFTs and ending the MFTs. But I will say that.
Is this though what we want to see LA Knight do? Is this really what we want to see LA Knight do?
Well, that's what they want, so. You know what I mean? But we had that. We had, who else do we have on the show? Rusev on the show.
Rusev and Ethan Page, they beat up Joe Hendry.
And they beat up, who, Rey Mysterio?
Yeah.
I think. By the way, Raw next week, there's a 7-man gauntlet where the winner gets an IC title shot against Penta at SummerSlam. It's Rusev, Ethan Page, Dragon Lee, Javon Evans, Dominic Mysterio, Joe Hendry, and Chad Gable. And no, they didn't beat up Rey Mysterio on Monday, or did they? Wait, what? Hold on, let me look it up. So, yeah, we had Rusev and Ethan Page stand tall, beating up Joe Hendry and company. I think they beat up Dragon Lee as well. Let me see. But yeah, there's a 7-man gauntlet for Raw next week. Joe Hendry's not winning the gauntlet, by the way. Rusev and Ethan. Oh no, it was Chad Gable and Dragon Lee versus Rusev and Ethan Page in a tag match. Rusev and Ethan Page won. So, Rusev and Ethan Page, they're not winning the gauntlet. Joe Hendry, no. Dominic Mysterio, no. We've been there, done that with Dominic and Penta. Javon Evans, Rusev, Ethan Page, kind of been there, done that with Penta, especially Ethan Page, so it's neither of those three either, not Joe Hendry. Dragon Lee, love Dragon Lee, but he's not winning. So yeah, Dragon Lee's not winning. Javon Evans, Ethan Page, Rusev, Dominic Mysterio. Joe Hendry's not winning, so Ethan Page, Rusev, Dragon Lee, Dominic Mysterio, Javon Evans, Joe Hendry, they're not winning. It's got to be Chad Gable. If Chad Gable doesn't win the gauntlet, there's a problem. This is a slam dunk for Triple H. If he does not book Chad Gable to win the gauntlet next week to get Penta and Chad Gable for the IC title at SummerSlam, we got a big problem. Honestly, I would have Chad Gable go all the way in the gauntlet. Have him start as 1 or 2, go the whole way.
Should be Chad Gable. You got SummerSlam in Minneapolis, his hometown.
This is legit a slam dunk for Paul Levesque. If he doesn't get this right with Chad Gable winning, I think we got a major issue. It's right there. Nothing else makes sense. It has to be Chad Gable winning this gauntlet, or this is a bust. Oh, but you got Rusev. No, he's not winning. And the fact he stood tall Monday on Raw should tell you that he's not winning the gauntlet. And neither is Ethan Page. It's got to be Chad Gable. It's got to be Chad Gable.
They already got shots against Penta, and they lost.
Yeah. Yeah, Ethan Page lost clean to Penta. Ethan Page, Penta, been there, done that. Dominic Mysterio and Penta, we've been there, done that.
Yeah,
So it's got to be Chad Gable.
They faced off about 30 times last year.
Yeah. It's got to be Chad Gable, or this is a fail. I'm telling you now.
It's Chad Gable, like there's a story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping this leads to Chad Gable getting a W in the gauntlet, and we get Chad Gable and Penta at SummerSlam in Minneapolis for the Intercontinental Championship. This is a slam dunk for Triple H. If he gets this wrong, if he gets this wrong and Chad Gable doesn't win the gauntlet, I'll be fucking fuming. And we got scripts in the chat. Also, does anyone know what time Saturday night's main event will be on? Probably like 8 o'clock, though I will not be live at that show in the Garden. I will be at ACW Independence Day in Poughkeepsie, New York that night, which honestly will be the much better show, in my opinion. Shout out to ACW, awesome championship wrestling, by the way. Then Scripps says, watch Papa H book Joe Hendry to win. Scripps. Joe Hendry's not winning. He has a better shot at hitting the lottery than winning the gauntlet.
What does Joe Hendry have to do with Penta? What does Joe Hendry have to do with Penta?
Nothing. There's no story.
Have they even have they interacted once?
No, not even once. And there's no story, and it makes no sense.
Yeah.
It needs to be Chad Gable, or this is a major fail. If Chad Gable loses that gauntlet, I am calling that right out. And I will hold nothing back. Then Script says, I hope not. Hopefully Chad Gable wins too. I agree. Then we also got on Raw, we got a World Tag Team title change. The Vision beat the Street Profits thanks to Maxine Dupree to reclaim the World Tag Team titles. And for those of you who were hoping the Vision would end, I'm sorry, your dreams were crushed for now, at least. So we got Maxine Dupree joining the Vision. She's a heel. She helped Austin Theory and Braun Breaker win the World Tag Team titles, beating the Street Profits after Maxine Dupree hit a low brawl on Angelo Dawkins, allowing Austin Theory to get the pinfall. And before this, Paul Heyman was telling the Vision either come back with gold or don't come back at all. But Maxine Dupree helped them get back gold. And why are we continuing the Vision? Beats me. What are your thoughts on this?
Another Monday, another Raw, another week of the Vision living on. The fucking Vision.
And we have Braun Breaker and tag
Can we
team.
please save? Can we save Braun Breaker from this, please?
Yeah. Scripps, hold on. Scripps says, I agree. Chad Gable needs his big break. No lies detected there, but yeah, Braun Breaker. Why is he in Raw Tag Team Division World Tag Team title slot? Why? And man, what happened to Braun Breaker? How do you go from wrestling CM Punk in Brooklyn, the first Raw this year for the world title, which I was at that Raw live? How do you go from that to now being in the Raw Tag Team Division, the worthless tag division on Raw, as a World Tag Team Champion? How? Can we get Braun Breaker out of the division?
Faction that has.
Can we get Braun Breaker on his own with Paul Heyman? Better yet, can we get Braun Breaker and move to SmackDown? Because I feel with Braun Breaker and Oba Femi on the same brand as Raw, man, does Oba feel like the new shiny new toy? And Braun Breaker was this shiny new toy. Then comes Oba Femi, Braun Breaker goes down and not the new favorite toy anymore. Now Obafemi's a new favorite toy. And Braun Breaker's really cooled off. Like, boy, is Braun Breaker ice cold right now. Like, what happened?
He's in a faction that has Austin Theory and Maxine Dupree.
Oh, we got Logan Paul.
With Logan Paul, who is injured for the rest of the year.
Yeah. But you got Bronson Reed.
He's
still
injured
out
for the rest of the year.
But you got Bronson Reed. He's still out.
He's still injured.
Like, can we get Bronson Reed back and get Braun Breaker out of the division, and we can get Braun Breaker versus Bronson Reed and Breaker away from the division? Better yet, can we get Braun Breaker moved to SmackDown? Because I feel Braun Breaker will not go anywhere on Raw as long as Obafemi's on Raw. And I feel a move to SmackDown would benefit Braun Breaker a ton. A ton. He could finally break out as that big new star on SmackDown. Like, I don't know what we're doing here with the Vision. I don't know what we're doing with Braun Breaker. Honestly, dude, to me, like if you ask me, Braun Breaker deserves a lot better. You know, I'm sure you feel the same way. Like, this is just terrible.
Like, this guy should be one of your main event top guys in the company. Shouldn't be having to carry a faction that should have been dead 6 months ago.
Yep.
Like, you got Austin Theory and Maxie Dupree in the division. Logan is injured. Bronson Reed's injured. Before that, Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins are injured. We're injured. Why is the division still continuing? Like, get Braun Breaker on his own and put the division out of its misery.
Yeah. And Scripps comes in the comments in the chat because Paul Heyman needs to do something on TV. You could have Paul Heyman do something on TV with Braun Breaker, just Heyman and Breaker. You don't need the Vision. Like, what are we doing here? Unless you're doing a story of Alpha Academy versus the Vision for the World Tag Team titles, there's a story there and it makes sense because Maxine Dupree turned on Otis and Tozawa, and everyone loves Otis. Or unless you're bringing Enzo and Cass to the Raw brand and they're taking the titles off of the Vision, then I don't know what we're doing here.
Literally.
Yeah. We also got a women's IC title match on Raw between Sol Ruca and Raquel Rodriguez. Sol Ruca won thanks to Io Sky taking out Roxanne Perez, Liv Morgan on the outside. Raquel's distracted. Sol Ruca hits the Soul Snatcher. 1, 2, 3. Sol Ruca's still your women's Intercontinental Champion. Can I just say, can we get Stephanie Vatcare back to say this Io and Liv stuff going into SummerSlam, please? Please.
Why are we still keep doing tension between the Judgment Day? This has been going on for 3 years now.
Yeah.
Can I just have Raquel already turn on Liv at SummerSlam? And actually progress the storylines?
Yeah. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? It's been going on for all this time with the Judgment Day. And they're still dragging this out. Like, we have to continue to wait and wait for something to happen. Like, we're tired of waiting. The sooner Stephanie Vatcare comes back to television, the better. Because, man, this Io and Liv thing at SummerSlam, I am not into that at all right now. At all. All I hear every week is Liv Morgan, the greatest women's world champion of all time. Like, it's to a point where I pick up the remote control and put it on mute every time Liv Morgan says that every week on Raw. And by the way, they beat up Io Sky, I think, a week ago on Raw. They leave her laying, hurting her knee. Yeah, great television there.
Exciting.
But Liv Morgan has a new finisher, that single leg Boston Crab. Wow. Wow. And then we get a segment with Paul Heyman and Obafemi. This was probably one of the other good segments on the show, by the way, hyping up SummerSlam with their Hell in a Cell, Brock and Oba in Minneapolis at SummerSlam. This I enjoyed and made the Hell in a Cell feel important and like a dangerous match where it shortens and ends careers. I mean, say what you want about Triple H playing it safe the past year or so, but one of the best things he's done better than Vince McMahon, like one of the best things Triple H has done compared with one of the best things Triple H has done, like say what you want about Triple H playing it safe the past year or so, but if there's one of the things that Triple H has done better than Vince, like when Vince McMahon had the gimmick Hell in a Cell pay-per-view every October with Vince McMahon, Triple H only has the Hell in a Cell when the feud calls for it, and Triple H has really made the Hell in a Cell feel important in a serious match again as Triple H, like how the Hell in a Cell it's supposed to shorten careers, it's supposed to end careers, making Hell in a Cell like a dangerous match to be in. I like that little attention to detail aspect. I'm not sure how you feel about that. I like that, and that's what they did with the segment on Raw between Paul Heyman and Obafemi. I like that.
Yeah, I like it. It does lean into you're making Hell in a Cell actually feel like a dangerous match.
Absolutely. I can't, like, when was the last time Hell in a Cell felt like a dangerous, serious match to take serious? I couldn't tell you. Maybe Punk and McIntyre, but they had a blood story.
Yeah.
I don't think even Edge and Balor, when Vince was still in charge of 2023, even felt that.
Yeah.
But I don't know, maybe Undertaker and Edge at SummerSlam 2008 and their Hell in a Cell, maybe. I could say that.
Yeah, Undertaker Triple H, WrestleMania 28.
Yes, yep, end of an era. I cannot forget that, where Undertaker's streak almost ended. The greatest false finish of all time. Sweet Chin Music pedigree and a kick out. Everyone thought the streak was over. Incredible. But I like what they did with the segment Monday on Raw with Obafemi and Paul Heyman. And then, like I said, Punk and Sami we won't go over that. We went through that early in the show. Stuff like that. And then NXT was nothing really that special. I think it was taped as well. Nothing much on NXT.
Yeah.
But and then SmackDown July 3rd was
I mean, it was a taped show. It was
both show. SmackDown last week and NXT this past Tuesday.
Can't really expect much out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can't expect much out of a tape show. Although NXT did a good number. I think they did the 700,000 viewers.
Yes.
So not bad for a show that was taped.
Very true. Very true. And then Dynamite. We had Kenny Omega take the title, AEW title of MJF. No, I did not stutter. MJF lost the AEW championship a second time this year, but this time to Kenny Omega.
But before we discuss that, we need to look at the amazing and exciting AEW Dynamite card that took place just recently. We had, listen to this, we had Tommaso Ciampa in the opening match defeating Chris Jericho.
Can we end this feud already?
Please. We had Jon Moxley and Will Ospreay versus JD Drake and Anthony Henry.
Who?
And the match went, listen to this, 15 minutes. Yes, you heard this correctly. Jon Moxley and Will Ospreay struggled to defeat Anthony Henry and JD Drake for 15 minutes.
We also had who? Willow
Yes.
Nightingale on the show?
We had the Women's Casino Gauntlet match. Willow Nightingale won by defeating Julia Hart, pinning Julia Hart, who was a participant in the match. And then after the match, Megan Bayne, Lita Cross, and Mercedes Moné defeated. No, not defeated. Well, they will defeat them in a trios match. Megan Bayne, Mercedes Moné, and Lita Cross beat up Willow Nightingale. They beat up Willow Nightingale and the Triangle of Madness.
So we're gonna get Tekla versus Willow Nightingale for the Women's World Championship at Redemption, and probably Willow Nightingale wins the title there. Can we get just to get Willow dropping the title to Mercedes at All In? Does look like what they're going with?
Damn sure you know that's gonna happen. Well, what are we gonna get? We're gonna get Lena, Megan, and Mercedes against Tekla, Sky Blue, and Julia Hart.
Something like that. Or it's going to lead to Willow taking the belt off Tekla at Redemption in Montreal.
Yeah, probably. That's going to happen.
And Tony wants to book Willow and Mercedes for the Women's World Title at All In. So hot potatoing your championship, huh?
Great.
Oh, Scripps coming in the chat, by the way. Scripps says, by the way, Stephanie Becker is the new mommy. Well, hard to argue between her and Rhea Ripley, but that's a subjective matter. But then he comes in. JD Drake doesn't even deserve to be on TV.
Yeah. JD Drake and Anthony Henry, two jobbers who never appear on Collision, never mind on Dynamite, and yet here they are having a 15-minute match with Jon Moxley and Will Ospreay. The same Will Ospreay who should win the AEW World Championship next month, and here he is struggling against these two bums. And this is the best. And this is the best we have for Jon Moxley, facing Anthony Henry and JD Drake.
We also got Jack Perry in the back with Tony Khan saying that AEW is where the best wrestle, and I love this company, and I need to be a star. And Jack Perry re-signs with AEW, so Jack Perry is staying with AEW, folks. Honestly, I'm not surprised. And I think with CM Punk in WWE, there was no chance of Jack Perry going there to WWE as long as Punk was there.
I won't say because Punk was there. I mean, they pretty much had no interest in him anyway.
Yeah, I read a story that WWE wasn't interested in bringing him in regardless.
Yeah.
Oh, well, WWE lost the bidding war with Jack Perry just like they did to Danny Garcia. What bidding war?
Yeah, the same Danny Garcia who is a jobber in the Death Riders.
Doing this.
Yeah, he's only the second biggest jobber in the Death Riders behind Wheeler Useless.
Christy Wilson comes in the chat. What's up, Christy? Glad you're here. Make sure you subscribe to Furious Nation. Hit the like, by the way, if you're new. But welcome. What's up, Christy? Hope all is well. She says, I'm glad that Jack Perry is staying with AEW.
You shouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Pretty much everybody and their mother expected.
Then Scripps comes in. No one else wants Jack Perry. So I guess Jack Perry can cry me a river.
Yeah, no shit.
I wonder what this means for Anna Jay, though.
I think she still leaves.
Yeah.
Did you notice, by the way, yeah, they announced Jack Perry resigning, but they did not say anything about Anna Jay.
So there's probably still a good chance Anna Jay goes to WWE.
Yeah. They didn't even say anything about her. You would think they would because she and Jack are married or about to. They said nothing about it.
Okay. Yeah. But we also had on Dynamite, like mentioned after the Jack Perry re-signing with AEW, which should be a surprise to no one.
Yeah, we had Kyle Fletcher defeating Konosuke Takeshita to become the international champion.
Now I think Mick Foley comes out and praises Kyle Fletcher.
Yeah, Foley, he come out, he confronted the Don Callis family.
Yeah, bang, bang, Mick Foley.
Yeah. And like Konosuke Takeshita, he's going to be in the G1. He's going to participate in the G1 Climax for 7 weeks, and I think that's why they took the title off of him.
Yeah.
I presume they do another Fletcher or Takeshita match at All In.
I presume. Maybe you add Okada in there to make it a triple threat.
Yeah.
That's what I
But
think happened.
but I also the other thing. Oh,
Andrade had a segment.
how you know?
How you know?
Yeah,
Had
it's
a segment.
Andrade's new catchphrase, by the way. For those of you who don't know, Andrade had a segment, and he has his brown suit on and his brown hat and stuff, his long hair, black beard. He's like, "How you know?"
Yeah,
Who he
he's
had a
going to be
segment with
taking
on Wednesday?
Yeah, how you know? Yeah, I think there was a segment. He beat up the Don Callis family. He saved Darby Allin from an attack from Don Callis family. And it's going to be Andrade taking on Jake Doyle next Wednesday.
And then, by the way, that's the only thing announced for next Wednesday. By the way, I'm not making this up.
Yeah, that's the one match that they announced.
Then again, this is Tony Khan. But AEW had the Beach Break thing this past Wednesday, but it was a good show. But we'll talk about that ending with Omega taking the belt off MJF. And like Scripps says, and I could not have said it better, he says this in the chat: hot potato title. No lives detected there at all.
Yeah. I mean, Dynamite. I mean, this past Dynamite was much better. It was a lot better than previous weeks.
Yeah, and then Christy says, still waiting for the Darby Kevin Knight match.
I assume this will be the match for All In.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be the match for Wembley Stadium.
Yeah. But and by the way, we had the Big Show wrestle against the Swirl. I think it was on Collision, or before the show.
I think this was a dark match.
A dark match.
This was before Dynamite.
Paul White, the Big Show.
The Big Show. He teamed up with Sting's son, Stephen Borden, and Karen Gray.
They beat the Swirl.
Yes. Yeah, they defeated Jay Lethal and Blake Christian.
Two bums.
It was on the dark match. It wasn't shown on television.
Yeah, two jobbers.
And then, the big Blake Christian, he took a chop, took those Big Show chop.
Yeah.
And Jay Lethal took the choke slam
from the
if you watch Big Show. Yeah, the Big Show choke slam, the knockout punch. If you watch the Big Show, he can. Did you look at his legs?
I did. He couldn't. He does not look good at all.
He could barely fucking move.
Yeah.
Like, bro, why is he in the ring still? Big Show, you're a legend, but please, for the sake of your health, please retire.
Yeah. No kidding.
Like, you're a legend, bro. You have nothing to prove.
Yeah.
Like I literally watched this video. It's like the way he's moving. It's just sad. Just awful. Just awful watching him like this.
Yeah.
But at least it was a dark match. At least this was before the show. At least.
True. Another quick little side note. Did you see Mike Santana's Instagram thing where he said something about July 15th? Is Mike Santana going back to AEW?
No. I think all he does is just tease. Just getting people talking.
Is that the date of his expiration date with TNA, or is he really going back to AEW? Like, why would he go back to why would Mike Santana go back to AEW after how Tony Khan treated him when he was first there? I don't
All he's
understand
doing is
that.
just teasing.
Yeah. I think Mike Santana still goes to WWE.
I think he still goes. Yeah, I think he still ends up in NXT.
Yeah.
He's already appeared there. I think that's the natural progression for him.
Yeah. Scripts in the chat. Why it's called a dark match is because everyone there sleeps right through it. I said out that's a good one, Scripts.
Yeah.
That's a funny one. That was funny. That's a good one.
Yeah. Basically, like nothing happens in a dark match anyway.
Yeah. But then we get the main event of AEW Beach Break. Kenny Omega defeats MJF for the AEW World Championship. Omega and Ospreay is a bigger match for Allin than MJF and Will Ospreay, and that's why Tony Khan wants Omega and Ospreay Allin for the world title instead of MJF and Will Ospreay. MJF and Ospreay, there is a story there. It was right there for Tony, and Tony Khan once again fumbled. Yes, Omega and Ospreay is a great match, but that's it. There's no story. Where MJF and Ospreay is a great match, but there's a story. And the only reason Omega took the belt off MJF on Wednesday was because Tony Khan, the mark that he is, wanted to book Ospreay and Omega for the title at All In. That's the only reason why. Why? Omega takes the belt off MJF on Wednesday. Why?
The same Kenny Omega who was just recently fighting Zack Sabre Jr. and his group of jobbers, or maybe not jobbers, a group of guys who nobody in the United States even knows.
Yeah.
The same, and before this, the same Kenny Omega who fought.
Your favorite demand.
The not so demand.
Ricochet, Bishop Khan, and Toa Leon.
This is what gets you an AEW World Championship match. Beating
Fighting.
Ricochet, Bishop Khan, Toa Leon.
Yeah, this is what they were doing with Kenny Omega, the fucking not so demand.
And here he is. He beats MJF and wins the AEW championship. When MJF, realistically, dude, should have been the one to go into All In as world champion. This man, MJF, has carried AEW on his back as world champion and was making the company and the product better when MJF was champion. And I don't care what anyone says. And shout out to JD from NY, by the way. Love his work. He said it best on Wednesday, and he's not wrong. MJF is like the AEW Roman Reigns. Facts. And MJF was making the product better for AEW this year when he was world champion. And what does Tony Khan do? Because he's a mark, he takes the belt off MJF and he puts it on Omega because Tony Khan, the mark that he is, wants Omega and Ospreay for the world title all in. That's why that happened. And man, can MJF like MJF just can't catch a break either. He lost to Brody King in 90 seconds, jobbed out to him, non-title match early in the year. Before Grand Slam Australia in February, right? And then in April, he loses it to Darby in a jobbing fashion during WrestleMania week, right? Sorry.
He lost. He got squashed by Brody King in 2 minutes. He gets he gets choked out. He gets choked out. He gets hit with a cannonball, and then he loses via pile driver.
And then in April with the Darby Allin thing.
Yeah, he gets squashed after being hit with 4 coffin drops, a scorpion death drop, and a headlock driver.
From Darby Allin during WrestleMania week in April to steal Thunder away from Mania, and that didn't work. We had open challenges for the world title for AEW almost every week, literally every week. Then MJF wins it back.
He was giving out title matches. He was handing out world championship matches to the likes of Sami Guevara.
Terrible. when he hasn't even when was the last time he was even on TV in something meaningful?
Yeah, the last time he was on the AEW television, Sami Guevara, that is, was January, losing to Bandito.
So then MJF wins it back at Double or Nothing in Queens, New York, late May, right? And he holds it for a little over a month, loses it on Dynamite Beach Break to Kenny Omega. And he gets jobbed out to Omega and he loses the belt to Omega, loses the belt again, but this time to Omega. Man, MJF cannot catch a break. Like, what are we doing?
The same MJF who has been carrying this company for a year now. Same guy who's been carrying the company on his back. Has good matches, good storylines. And his world title reign was actually pretty good. Yeah. And you're having him lose twice. He loses it twice on television. His first reign lasted only his second reign rather. First reign was 400 days. His second reign lasted 3 months. This reign lasted barely a month.
Not even 2 months.
Yeah. Just a month.
Oh, but the one with Punk winning it from Sami was worse than Omega taking it from MJF. Punk winning from Sami made no sense, more so than Omega beating MJF. I actually like Punk beating Sami better. This one was worse.
At least they were building Sami, and they were telling the story of Sami. You will be one day a world champion, or you will never be a world champion. And then Sami Zayn is fighting the odds. He's finally a world champion.
And then Punk saying, "You'll never know when a title opportunity falls out of the sky." And there's a story with Punk and Cody, and then with Sami, and you'll probably be in the WWE title match at SummerSlam, making it a triple threat for the WWE title at SummerSlam with Punk versus Cody versus Sami. And I want to bring this up. Script says, watch TK will book a triple threat match for All In, MJF, Ospreay, and Omega in a triple threat. If Tony Khan does that, that makes no sense. Punk, Sami, and Cody makes sense. Ospreay versus Omega versus MJF, if that's booked a triple threat for All In, that makes no sense whatsoever. None.
Ridiculous.
And if they don't do the triple threat for All In, call me crazy. Am I the only one that thinks, and they teased it during the pre-show panel before Double or Nothing this year started in Queens, when Mick Foley arrived on the scenes in AEW and teased with Mick Foley and MJF there. Call me crazy. You have my permission to call me crazy, dude. Am I the only one that thinks we're getting MJF versus Mick Foley in whatever kind of match at All In? Am I the only one who thinks that? Are we really gonna get MJF at All In 2026 versus a 60-year-old crippled Mick Foley who can barely move? Are we really getting that for All In?
No.
Is Tony Khan really gonna do that?
At this point, I will not be surprised.
So are we really gonna get MJF in the mandible claw and Foley pulling out Mr. Socko on MJF? Are we really doing that for All In? Like, this is the best we have for MJF if that's the case? An AEW pillar since day one, and he's carried your company on your back throughout this year. And how you repay him is a match with Foley at All In. Are we really going to see Foley pull out the sock puppet, the Mr. Socko, and then Foley's going to apply the Mr. Socko mandible claw on MJF? Yeah, because that's exactly what I want to see. Mick Foley wrestling in 2026, putting MJF in the fucking mandible claw. Great.
Why?
Then Script says, OMG, you are crazy. I think that was a joke thing, but it's like, honestly, it would not shock me at all because Tony Khan is a big fan and mark for Mick Foley. Watch Tony Khan book MJF and Mick Foley for All In. Watch. It's coming. It wouldn't shock me. Would it shock you?
No.
How old is Mick Foley? What, 60 years old? His early mid-60s? He can barely
61
move.
years old.
61-year-old Mick Foley. He can
61
barely
years
move.
old. Yeah.
All scarred body, all
Like, who
banged
wants
up
to
for
see
all scarred up and banged up for all the bumps he took over the years in the Attitude Era and after that. The Hell in a Cells with The Undertaker and Triple H and matches with Rock, chair shots from Rock in the late 90s, etc., matches with Stone Cold. Like, Foley's all beaten up and banged up, bruised and hurt, all banged up and scarred up. A banged up and scarred up Mick Foley in 2026 versus MJF in a match. Why? Who asked for that? Who asked for a Mick Foley match in AEW in 2026? You know Tony Khan would do something like that. I would not put it past him.
Yeah.
If they do that match, that is embarrassing.
What else MJF is going to do? Yeah, this is how we're going to reward MJF. We're going to have him face a 60-year-old man who should be in the retirement house, when he should have went into Wembley Stadium this year as the World Heavyweight Champion.
But the best we have for him is Mick Foley, right? Like, do we really need to see like Mick Foley? Could you imagine Foley pulling out Mr. Socko and giving MJF the Socko like that?
The fucking sock bucket. Disgusting.
Oh, but what if it's a hardcore match? This isn't 2006 with Mick Foley and Edge. That was then. This is now. This is not 2006. This is 2026.
This isn't 1995. This isn't 1998. This isn't 2004. This is 2006.
Or the year 2000.
This is 2026. On no fucking planet should 61-year-old Mick Foley be in the ring in general. Never mind in a hardcore match.
Would it shock
at this point, I'd rather watch Leo Rush versus MJF at this point.
Or the Boogeyman Leo Rush. Or the actual Boogeyman with the worms himself.
I'd rather watch the Boogeyman himself face MJF. At least the Boogeyman is in shape.
Yeah.
At least he can still move.
I don't like the Worms act, but that's another story for another day. But
at least Leo Rush is fast. At least he can move. Mick Foley can barely move.
Yeah.
This decision, it's just so stupid. Like,
it would
you
not
have this guy
surprise
carrying your
me
company
whatsoever if Tony Khan booked that for All In.
Like,
watch him do that.
Like, it's so fucking stupid. Like, this guy MJF, he's carrying your company on his back for the past 18 months with the feud with Hangman, the work with the Hurt Business, the feud with Hangman, Brody King, Darby, and this is his reward. He loses the World Championship on an episode of Dynamite.
Or
like, he can't just go into Wembley as the champion.
Or watch them do the rematch with MJF and Omega and Kenny Omega at Redemption in Montreal. Omega retains thanks to Foley. Watch them do that.
Oh, please no.
If that happens, you know where you heard it. I may have just put it out there, but if that happens, you know exactly where you heard it. I hope and pray that doesn't happen. But
or here's something that, here's what they book MJF versus Will Ospreay, and if MJF wins, he becomes #1 contender. And then Will Ospreay wins after interference by Wheeler Useless and Danny Garcia. Because the Will Ospreay is a member of the Death Riders, and he's gonna need help.
This is terrible. MJF should have not lost a thing on Wednesday. What they did on Wednesday with Omega taking the title of MJF was absolutely ridiculous. Ridiculous. MJF should have been the one to go into All In as champion. And here you have Omega. Love Kenny Omega, don't get me wrong. But you have him take the title off MJF. This is the second time that MJF's lost the thing. It was bad enough with Brody King and with Darby Allin. Now you have him lose it again to Omega. Like, what are they doing to MJF? Like, are they really, like, dude, are they really phasing MJF out? Like, I don't know when his AEW contract is up, whether it's next year or in 2028, but I'm telling you right now, would it shock me at all if MJF makes the jump to WWE when his time in AEW is done? Would that shock me at all? At this point, the way they're treating him right now? Absolutely not. Because he deserves better than this. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Then Scripps comes in the chat. TK probably will do that since you brought it up, and you know he watches podcasts all the time. Yeah, the Foley and MJF match at All In? Yeah, would not shock me at all. And like I said moments ago, bro, MJF, the way they're phasing him out, why? And I don't know when MJF's deal with AEW runs out, but whether his deal's up, next year in 2028 or whenever, honestly, it wouldn't shock me if MJF does make the jump to WWE. And you know it's going to happen. He's not going to be in AEW forever. And probably Tony Khan knows that. Maybe that's why he's phasing him out. Like, why is Tony Khan treating MJF the way he's treating him now? Because he deserves better.
Notice, by the way, how they have Kenny Omega become the world champion 2 days after CM Punk becomes WWE champion.
Yep. That too. I'm glad you brought that up.
It's not a matter of, I don't think he's facing Max out. Not per se. I think they booked Kenny to win the world title. I love Kenny, but again, when was the last time he done something exciting? Something that must see.
I couldn't tell you.
What, the match with Ospreay at Forbidden Door 3 years ago?
Probably. But yeah, you mentioned it. I'm actually happy you brought that up. I almost forgot about that. Yeah. Punk won the title Raw in Chicago, right?
Yeah. And then 2 days later, I think the Omega match was announced first, to be fair. It was announced first before Punk was even back.
Yeah, but Punk a match announced. Yeah, but a match announced and the finish of a match are two completely different things.
Yeah. So, like, you have CM Punk. He's not being seen in April. You were building a storyline throughout Raw. Cody gets taken out by Gunther,
which then bleeds into SmackDown.
Yeah. Sami Zayn thinks he's gonna take the night off. He wants to defend on SmackDown, but he's gonna have to defend on Raw because he was advertised. And then CM Punk comes in and he wins the championship. No, he's gonna be on SmackDown tonight.
And because Adam Pearce, the Raw GM, made Sami Zayn defend a SmackDown title on Raw, show that's not even his on Raw because Nick Aldis is on administrative leave, and Nick Aldis finds the opponent for Pearce since Adam Pearce can't find the opponent for Sami after Cody gets taken out, while Nick Aldis is on administrative leave, which could potentially lead to Gunther Nick Aldis at SummerSlam, which I would not mind at all. But you mentioned Omega winning a title Wednesday. A retaliation reaction to Punk winning on Raw, and maybe Tony Khan showing his pettiness out of reaction to Punk winning Monday, just to
that's Tony Khan right there. So I think
to take thunder away from WWE and CM Punk because Tony Khan's petty. I mean, both companies are petty, but do you think Tony Khan did this to take thunder away from WWE and CM Punk and to try to make Punk look bad because they still hate CM Punk after the Jack Perry incident 3 years ago?
I honestly, that's what I think. That's honestly what I think. Yeah, you got CM Punk. He wins the championship. You were building a whole storyline. All nights. About Sami defending, and then Punk wins. Kenny Omega, whose match was already announced anyway, for a week ago, they've been teasing him and MJF for weeks.
Yep.
You have Omega, he comes in. Well, MJF is gonna, he has the diamond ring, and then out comes Ospreay to prevent Max from cheating, and then Kenny wins the world championship. When prior to this, he was feuding with Zack Sabre Jr. and the Not So Demand. Honestly, if we're up to me, I think this is Tony. I think this is the same thing with WrestleMania with Darby winning the world title. Even though they kind of did something similar, they were building an entire Diamond episode around Darby. He got that endorsement from Sting.
I think this is kind of, but because it was WrestleMania weekend, it's kind of, it's not a coincidence. I think with Kenny winning, I think this is Tony, he's trying to take some attention away from CM Punk winning the WWE Championship by having Kenny Omega winning the AEW World Title on the same weekend. I think that's probably what it feels like. He wants to take attention from Punk, and Tony's petty, and it is pretty much Tony being petty because he can't get over Punk leaving 3 years ago.
Yeah,
and Tony wants all the attention that they get. I think he's this petty.
Yeah. And you notice how Jack Perry was shown on the show re-signing with AEW. When was the last time Tony Khan had a guy and wrestler on television re-sign their contract with Tony on air?
I can't remember.
Coincidence?
I don't think he's ever done this with anyone, not even the Elite. Like not even Moxley when he re-signed 4 years ago, I believe.
Yeah.
I don't even think he did something. I don't even think he did an announcement like that for him on TV.
No. But isn't that a coincidence?
No. Absolutely not. This is Tony. She's trying to take the attention away from Punk winning the WWE Championship.
And they have SmackDown tonight. Watch Punk take thunder away from Omega.
He already has all the thunder. That's Punk.
Yeah. But yeah, Omega take the title off MJF. MJF should have retained. And I don't understand why. This is terrible.
Ridiculous.
Absolutely terrible. Might as well conclude this episode with this. Sheamus apparently gone from WWE, and as we speak, I just seen the tweet. Sheamus put out officially is S. Farrelly, his real name. Stephen Fairley is Sheamus' real name. Stephen Fairley is his real name. An hour ago, he tweets out banger after banger after banger after banger. Heartbroken emoji and sad emoji. And after heartbroken emoji, the sad face emoji. Salon Mo WWE Chardy S. Fairley. So he's gone from WWE. And I have reports on Sheamus gone. Apparently that he decided not to re-sign or whatnot a new deal, and his contract was coming up, and it looks like it's done now, or maybe he's not a free agent yet, maybe in the next coming weeks or months, but he is gone from WWE and moved to the alumni section. And this, honestly sad about this. And he was there for 20 years, by the way, 20 years. And apparently, according to reports, and this is where this gets me pissed. TKO this is pretty much a TKO move, asked him to take a pay cut. And apparently, and listen to this. Reportedly, WWE, I think this is a TKO move, approached Sheamus about a restructured contract whilst out injured. Probably TKO most likely asked him to take a pay cut. He swiftly rejected, said no, and he decided to leave. And now I'm reading a report that a high-ranking WWE official reportedly fought hard to keep Sheamus from leaving the company. Pretty much, quote, a certain high-level member in the WWE office went to TKO and went to bat for Sheamus. I would not be surprised if it's Triple H, because Sheamus is a big Triple H guy. They used to be workout buddies back in the day, years ago, yeah? I honestly see one about Triple H playing it safe the past year or so, and the creative has not been good within the past year or so. I would not be surprised if Hunter went to bat for Sheamus. But TKO doesn't give a fuck. They don't care about wrestling, and they don't respect Hunter. They clearly hate pro wrestling. They don't respect it. They don't like it. And they don't respect Hunter. They don't. And Hunter, I wouldn't be surprised, went to bat for Sheamus, and TKO still wouldn't listen. If that's the case, fuck them. And Ari Emanuel, Mark Shapiro. They don't respect Paul Levesque. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they pushed him out, because they don't respect him. And you asked, and TKO's asking talent like the New Day, Kofi, and Woods to take a pay cut, and they know their worth and they leave. Good for them and good on them. Good. Oh, but TKO's in a lot of debt. They're $4.9 billion in debt. Who gives a shit? Like, you're asking talent, and also, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't Sheamus sign a new 5-year deal 2 years ago? And now TKO's asking talent to take a pay cut. Talk about a disconnect with WWE and TKO. And now Sheamus is gone from the company. Honestly, this makes me mad and pissed. Fuck TKO. Vince McMahon selling to TKO was a big this to his family. Because Vince got so jealous that his family, his daughter, his son-in-law ran the company a lot better than he did back in late 2022. And Vince couldn't take it. All Vince had to do was stay away 3 years ago, and he sold the company out of jealousy and spite. That's all that was. And look at them now with TKO. And honestly, with TKO and this much debt, I wouldn't be surprised if they sell the company again in the next couple of years. It wouldn't surprise me. Any thoughts on this?
Ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like, you have Sheamus. I mean, I understand he's older. I know I get he's injured recently, but it's like, this guy has been with this company for 19 years. He's busted his ass, put in the work, was loyal. He just re-signed a new contract 2 years ago. Signed a new 5-year contract.
Yep.
And now you want him to restructure his deal and take less money.
Well, they're in a lot of debt.
Well,
TKO's in a lot of debt.
It's not the wrestler's fault. It's not the fucking talent's fault that they don't know how to spend their money right.
TKO and Endeavor's marketing department is probably dog shit, which is why they're in a lot of debt. Compared to WWE's marketing, compared to WWE's marketing system, which is actually miles better, knows what they're doing.
That's it. And like what? Sheamus is on his way back. For the last time I've been checking.
Yeah, he was on his way back.
Like literally, the guy can't be cleared any time now, and you want this guy to take less money after you just re-signed him?
Tells me there's a big disconnect between WWE and TKO.
It's ridiculous. Like, literally.
Oh, and by the way, that leaked audio with Ari Emanuel, what we talked about last week, with protecting Vince admit the sexual allegations with the merger with TKO. Yeah, that. What absolute scumbags are TKO? I hope they get the worst coming to them. Fuck them. And
this is the same thing they did with the fucking New Day. You re-signed these guys. This is the same thing they did with the New Day. You re-signed these guys for 5 years.
Yeah.
You offered these guys 5-year contracts. You offered these guys 5-year contracts with a pay raise. And with the case of the New Day, not even 6 months into their new deal, you're telling them to take a pay cut.
Why? Because you're like because you're $5 billion in debt? Whose fault is that?
Bro. Yeah. Who's the one who offered them this deal in the first place?
Vince McMahon was the one who sold the company to Endeavor.
Yeah, he's the one who sold it to Endeavor. And who are the ones who gave the New Day pay raises? Who are the ones who offered the New Day new contracts? It's not the New Day who went to TKO and said, we want a new day and we want a new deal, or we want more money. They don't give a shit how much they're being paid as long as they wrestle. They were offered a deal, that the New Day and Sheamus, they were offered a deal, they signed it, and now you want to rescind the deal. You're telling them, sorry guys, we can't pay you. We want to rescind our offer. What did you think they would do? What did you think Sheamus was going to do? Say yes?
No, he wasn't. He knows his worth. just like the New Day. Good on him, and good on Kofi and Woods. And I don't think Hunter wanted to let him go. And I don't think he even wanted to let the New Day go.
I think this is according to Sappy Boy. There was a high-ranking official in WWE that was actually going to bat for Sheamus.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's Triple H. Really, I wouldn't be surprised. And TKO wouldn't listen. They don't respect him. They've never respected him. And The Rock's on the board. Rock and Triple H hate each other. They hate each other.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Triple H's current contract runs out. I wouldn't be surprised if they push him out.
Then again, this is the same TKO that kept Vince McMahon around, knowing full well that this man was a sex trafficker.
And Vince sold the company to his friend to have power back. The company didn't need to be sold. If the company wasn't sold and Vince was out for good, you wouldn't see the company the way it is now, and Triple H would be safe, and Sheamus and the New Day would still be there. You would think they'd be lifers, by the way. There for all these years. TKO doesn't respect. It goes to show TKO doesn't respect their legends, and if Triple H is the one that went to bat for Sheamus, also shows you TKO doesn't respect Hunter. I don't think they ever will.
They never did. They never respected them.
I wouldn't be surprised if The Rock pushes Triple H out because Rock really hates Triple H. He probably is angry at Hunter for pushing Vince out 2 years ago. And you know how before the Janelle Grant allegations first came out, The Rock was awarded to the board, the directors for TKO. Then weeks later, Vince was forced out with the Janelle Grant allegations. You know, who's to say? Vince didn't call Rock to take his board spot, knowing Vince would be pushed out for the Janelle Grant allegations. Who's to say? What did Rock know? Better yet.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I wouldn't be surprised if Dwayne pushes Triple H right out, brings in Seven Bucks Production, Brian Gerwicks, and he'd be another scapegoat, by the way.
Yeah, apparently, I think I sent you something.
Yeah. Yeah, leaked voicemail has revealed that Stephanie McMahon reportedly opposed both Vince McMahon's return to WWE and the company's eventual sale to Endeavor. Leaked Nick Khan voicemail reveals Stephanie McMahon's resistance to WWE sale. Vince never wanted to go. Vince never wanted to go whatsoever. When he was forced to put out that July 2022 tweet, you really think Vince wanted to go? And he was immediately on the phone after he was forced to put that retirement tweet out.
Immediately on the phone with his buddy Ari.
As a Vince McMahon revenge tour.
His
They're trying to
own daughter.
Everybody that tried to remove him.
Yeah, his own daughter, his own family were telling him not to come back and not to sell the company.
And told him to stay away.
They wanted to keep the company in the family.
Yeah. This honestly doesn't surprise me.
Did he listen? Of course he didn't. Of course.
Vince McMahon thinks he's high and mighty and higher than things, and says, "Oh, nobody is bigger than the almighty Vince McMahon." That's not a saying. That's the way Vince actually thinks. Remember in the Raw Attitude Era, he said, "Nobody is better than Vince McMahon." No, that's the way he thinks.
Yeah. That's not a character. This is how he actually thought.
It's like art imitate life. Actually, honestly, none of this surprises me at all. None of this shocks me whatsoever. Yet there are people that want Vince McMahon back, yet he sold the company to his friend because he wanted to reclaim all the ultimate power, to get rid of everybody that tried to get rid of him.
Yeah, meanwhile, this man was revealed to be a sex pest.
And Ari,
This
when
guy
they
was
had
using
that-
company dollar.
yeah,
This guy was using company dollar to make women sign NDAs.
to keep them quiet because Vince was having sexual affairs with them while Vince was cheating on his wife. Unreal. Absolutely unreal to me, bro. That company did not need to be sold at all. It was just fine the way it was. And you know when the Endeavor sale was officially complete in the fall of 2023, and they still kept Vince on, then they deemed Vince a liability, but they knew what they would be dealing with Vince. Do I feel sorry for that? Absolutely not. They laid in the shit bed that Vince laid in. They laid in it with him. Vince laid in that
man was a
shit bed,
liability,
and
they
Ari and
kept him
Shapiro and
in.
TKO laid in it with him.
They knew they were in debt, and yet they bought the company anyway.
And they knew this guy was a liability. They knew Vince McMahon was a major liability and a hindrance to their company. Oh, but what about Vince McMahon coming back? No, he's not coming back. But it's like they knew this man was a liability, but they brought him in anyway and did nothing about it. And you know when the Janelle Grant allegations first came out in January 2024? It took the next day for TKO and Endeavor to get this guy out. Slim Jim was actually the driving force behind it.
Slim Jim.
Yeah, Slim Jim got it all
They're the
done.
ones we're talking about.
You know,
When it should have been already done the day prior. It should have been done by Ari the day prior.
The day the allegations leaked out from the Wall Street Journal. As soon as they leaked out, moments after that leaked out, Vince should have been immediately fired right then and there. They waited the next day. That should have been immediate termination right there.
But of course, you know what TKO is all about. They're all about that almighty dollar.
Yep. Really, fuck Vince McMahon, Ari Emanuel, Mark Shapiro, and all of Vince McMahon's buddy friend yes men. They all deserve the fucking worst. And they settled the shareholder lawsuit. Vince threw money at it. He's trying to get this Janelle Grant thing to arbitration, which I don't like. Now this Ring Boy lawsuit apparently is on them. And now with this leaked audio, I don't know what this means in the long run. I know the shareholder lawsuit was settled. I don't know if you feel this leaked Ari Emanuel voicemail audio leads to anything, but this is a bad look on Ari and TKO and Endeavor. It's a bad look.
Ridiculous.
I don't know if you feel this could lead to anything, but this is a terrible look.
I hope Vince gets what he fucking deserves. Gets what's coming.
And not just Vince McMahon, his buddies, Ari, Shapiro. I hope they get what's coming to them too. Because they're the ones that also talked with Vince with the sale. And they knew Vince's sexual allegations. And they did nothing about it. Fucking god-awful. And by the way, this Ring Boy lawsuit against Vince McMahon, by the way. And I think it's against TKO too, right?
I think it's against Vince. Yeah.
I think it's against Vince McMahon.
TKO didn't even start TKO wasn't in existence in 1992.
True. I think it's definitely against Vince. I think it's against Linda McMahon as well. If I'm not mistaken. I think it's against Vince and Linda McMahon. And maybe against TKO. I third TKO because they own the company, but it says the lawsuit filed by 8 survivors known as John Does accuses WWE, its parent company TKO Group Holdings, Vince McMahon and Linda McMahon of enabling the sexual abuse and exploitation of underage ring boys by organization staff in the 1980s and early 1990s. So there you have it. I hope they get the worst coming to them. I know they settled the shareholder lawsuit, which I don't like, but I really hope in the end Vince, RH Speedo get exactly what's coming to them, and they deserve it. Anybody that's Vince McMahon or in Vince's circle needs I hope all get what's coming to them, and they like they've gotten away with way too much, and at some point, good has to prevail over evil. And Vince McMahon's the biggest evil of them all. He's Satan in the flesh. Literally.
Let the devil have it.
Yeah. Exactly. But that is that for episode 32 of Forbidden Podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Lots of great discussion and all. But we appreciate you for joining us here for episode 32. 33 next week, Thursday, Friday of next week. As we get 33 episodes next week. As we get on the road to SummerSlam. Hopefully SmackDown tonight's a good show. July 10th, the first Punk SmackDown of the CM Punk era. That should hopefully be good. It can't be worse than what it was before, but we'll see. But hit the like on the video. It'll be greatly appreciated. Subscribe to Furious Nation and hit the bell for all notifications. It helps a ton in the YouTube algorithm. Make sure you go do that. Follow me on X, FioreNick579. Adam Carl 2005 on X as well. All that good stuff and social media links and all. With Instagram, Nicholas Fiore 2014. Nicholas Peer Fiore Peer 31 on Facebook and TikTok at Furious Nation. And Adam Carl, any other words before we get the hell out of here?
Nothing else to say. I'm hoping everybody's having a great summer. So, looking forward
Absolutely.
to the next episode of the podcast, and hopefully it's even more fun than the last.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your Friday, guys. We'll see you next week for episode 33 of Forbidden Podcast. Peace out, guys.